My beloved child, something important is unfolding in your life, even if you cannot see it yet. I know there are moments when you have looked around and wondered why so many things feel uncertain. You have asked questions that seem to disappear into silence. You have waited for answers that never arrived when you expected them. You have wondered if the delays meant that I had forgotten you, or if the closed doors were signs that your hopes would never become reality. But I tell you now, with the certainty that only I possess, nothing about your journey has been without purpose. Every step, every pause, every unexpected turn have been held safely within my hands. There is a reason your heart has felt a quiet stirring lately. There is a reason you cannot shake the feeling that change is near. What you are sensing is not your imagination. It is the gentle movement of my hand, ranging what you cannot yet understand. While you have been watching what is happening around you, I have been working far beyond what your eyes can see. I have been opening paths where there appeared to be none. I have been protecting you from dangers you never knew existed. I have been preparing moments that will arrive at exactly the right time. Do not measure my work by what you can see today. The seed beneath the soil appears forgotten, yet it is quietly becoming everything it was created to be. Before anyone celebrates the beauty of a tree, countless unseen days pass beneath the surface. In the same way, I have been nurturing dreams, healing hidden wounds, and strengthening your spirit in ways that will soon become visible. What feels like stillness has never been emptiness. It has been preparation. I know the nights when your heart felt heavy. I know the mornings when you smiled for others while carrying silent burdens inside. I heard every whispered prayer, every tear that no one else noticed, and every moment you chose to keep moving even when your strength felt small. None of it escaped my attention. I have remained beside you through every victory and every disappointment. I have never taken my eyes off you, not even for a single moment. So as you listen to my voice today, I ask you to quiet the fear that tells you nothing is changing. Do not allow discouragement to become louder than my promises. The story you are living is not finished. The chapter you are in is not the final one. What seems confusing today will one day become clear, and what feels delayed will reveal the wisdom of perfect timing. Stay with me as I reveal what has been happening behind the scenes of your life. I will uncover the purpose hidden within your waiting, the hope concealed inside your struggles, and the love that has surrounded you through every season. My beloved child, lift your heart with expectation, because something important is unfolding in your life, and this is only the beginning of what I have prepared for you. My beloved child, I know that silence has often been one of the hardest places for you to endure. You have searched for my voice in the quiet moments and wondered why the answers did not come as quickly as you hoped. There were days when you prayed with all your heart, expecting immediate direction, yet all you found was stillness. In those moments, it may have seemed as though I had stepped away, but I want you to understand something that will strengthen your soul. My silence has never been my absence. I have always been near you, closer than your next breath, even when your feelings tried to convince you otherwise. Do not mistake quietness for inactivity. I am always working, even when my hands cannot yet be seen. The greatest works I accomplish often begin where human eyes cannot look. Just as a builder carefully prepares a foundation before the walls rise into view, I have been laying a foundation beneath your life that will support blessings greater than you have imagined. Foundations are not celebrated because they remain hidden, yet without them nothing lasting can stand. In the same way, the work I have been doing within you has been preparing you for what lies ahead. There have been changes taking place inside your heart that you may not have noticed. I have been replacing fear with quiet courage, even if you still feel uncertain at times. I have been teaching you patience in moments when every part of you wanted immediate answers. I have been softening places that disappointment tried to harden. I have been restoring hope in ways so gentle that you scarcely recognized my touch. Every experience you have lived through has become part of the masterpiece I am creating. Think about the sunrise. It does not burst into the sky all at once. Long before the first light reaches the horizon, the darkness is already giving way. The world cannot always see that change immediately, but it is happening nonetheless. So it is with your life. Even now, while you may believe little has changed, my light is already breaking through places you once believed would remain dark forever. What seems delayed is often much closer than you realize. I have also been protecting you in ways you will never fully understand. There were opportunities you wished had worked out, relationships you wanted to keep, and paths you hoped would remain open. You questioned why they disappeared, and sometimes you blamed yourself for what you believed you had lost. But my beloved child, there are storms I kept from reaching you, burdens I spared you from carrying, and heartbreaks I prevented before they could ever touch your life. You may never know every detail, but one day you will see that what I closed was just as loving as what I opened. While you waited, I was also preparing people, places, and moments that would intersect with your journey at exactly the right time. I do not arrange lives carelessly. I weave together circumstances with perfect wisdom. Every conversation, every unexpected encounter, every lesson learned during difficult seasons has been part of a greater design. Nothing has been random. Nothing has been wasted. Even the tears you wished had never fallen have watered the ground where new strength is growing. When you felt weak, I was becoming your strength. When confusion clouded your thoughts, I remained your unchanging truth. When loneliness surrounded you, my presence stayed faithfully beside you, even if your heart struggled to recognize it. I have walked with you through every valley, not standing at a distance but carrying you when your own strength could no longer sustain you. I have never grown weary of loving you, never become impatient with your questions, and never stopped believing in the beautiful future I have prepared for you. So I ask you now, release the pressure to understand everything immediately. You were never meant to carry the burden of seeing the entire path before taking the next step. That is my responsibility, not yours. Your calling is to trust that I see what you cannot. Trust that I know every detail of tomorrow while holding your hand today. Trust that my timing is never hurried and never late. The silence that once frightened you is becoming the place where your faith takes deeper root. My beloved child, the season of wondering has not been empty. It has been sacred. Every quiet day has carried my fingerprints. Every unanswered moment hath been filled with my unseen activity. As you continue walking with me, you will begin to recognize that I was never absent for even a single heartbeat. I have been working in the silence all along, preparing blessings, strengthening your spirit, and unfolding a future filled with hope that is more beautiful than anything you could have imagined on your own. My beloved child, I know how difficult it has been to wait. Waiting can feel like standing at the edge of a door that refuses to open, no matter how many times you knock. It can make you question your worth, your direction, and even the promises I have placed within your heart. There have been moments when you looked at the lives of others and wondered why their paths seemed to move forward while yours appeared to stand still. You questioned whether you had missed your opportunity or made a mistake that could never be undone. But I want you to hear my heart today. The delays you have experienced were never proof that I had abandoned my plans for you. They have always been part of those plans. You see delay as lost time, but I see it as necessary preparation. You count the days, the months, and sometimes even the years, wondering why nothing seems to change. Yet I do not measure your life by the passing of time alone. I measure it by the growth of your heart, the strengthening of your character, and the readiness of every detail surrounding your future. What seems slow to you is unfolding with perfect precision in my hands. Imagine a skilled gardener planting a seed. No matter how desperately someone wishes for fruit the next morning, the gardener will never rush the process. The seed must first grow deep roots before it reaches toward the sky. If the fruit appeared before the roots were ready, the tree would not survive the first strong wind. My beloved child, I have been growing your roots. I have been making you stronger beneath the surface so that when the blessings arrive, they will not overwhelm you. They will remain because you have become ready to carry them. There were dreams you wanted me to fulfill immediately, but I saw obstacles that you could not see. I knew the weight those blessings would carry. I knew the responsibilities that would come with them. Out of my love for you, I chose preparation over haste. I refused to give you something before your heart was equipped to receive it with wisdom, humility, and peace. My timing has never been about withholding goodness from you. It has always been about protecting the goodness I have prepared for you. Remember the times when you felt disappointed because a door closed unexpectedly. You may have believed that your future disappeared in that moment. Yet if the door had remained open, it might have led you into unnecessary pain, distraction, or discouragement. I closed it because I saw what waited beyond it. I redirected your steps because I love you too much to allow you to settle for less than what I intended. Even when my answers seemed confusing, they were guided by perfect knowledge and endless compassion. There is another reason for the waiting that you may not have considered. While I have been preparing you, I have also been preparing the people who will walk beside you. Lives are connected in ways you cannot fully understand. Sometimes your blessing depends upon another heart completing its own season of growth. Sometimes an opportunity must mature before it is ready to meet you. Sometimes circumstances beyond your vision must come together like pieces of a tapestry before the picture can be revealed. I see every thread at once, and I weave them together with flawless wisdom. Do not believe the lie that you are falling behind. You cannot be late for what I have appointed. What I have spoken over your life does not expire because of waiting. My promises are not weakened by passing seasons. They remain secure because they rest upon my faithfulness, not upon human schedules. Others may race ahead according to what the world celebrates, but your journey is unique. I have written a story for you that cannot be compared to anyone else's. Comparison only blinds you to the beauty of what I am creating within your own life. Even now, I ask you to see waiting through different eyes. Instead of asking why you must wait, begin asking what I am teaching you during this season. Notice the patience growing where frustration once lived. Notice the wisdom replacing impulsive decisions. Notice the compassion that has deepened because you understand the struggles of others. These are treasures that no circumstance can take away. They are shaping you into the person I created you to become. My beloved child, do not lose heart because the answer has not yet appeared. Every delay has carried purpose. Every pause has been filled with my careful attention. Every moment of uncertainty has been another brushstroke in the masterpiece I am painting through your life. Continue trusting me when the road feels longer than expected. Continue believing my promises when your eyes cannot yet see their fulfillment. The day will come when you look back and realize that what once felt like delay was actually my perfect love guiding every step. Then your heart will rest in the truth that I was never making you wait without reason. I was leading you toward something far greater than you could have imagined. My beloved child, there have been moments when you quietly wondered if I had forgotten you. You may not have spoken those words aloud, but I heard them in the silence of your heart. I saw the questions that lingered behind your smile. I knew the ache you carried when another day passed without the breakthrough you had been praying for. There were nights when you looked toward heaven, hoping for a sign that I still remembered your name, your dreams, and the promises you believed I had placed within your spirit. Today I want you to hear my voice clearly. I have never forgotten you, not for a single moment. Before you ever called upon me, I already knew you. Before you ever faced your first disappointment, I already saw every chapter of your life. I have watched over your first steps, your greatest victories, your deepest sorrows, and every ordinary moment in between. There has never been a day when your life escaped my attention. The world may overlook you. People may fail to understand your value. Even those closest to you may forget the battles you have fought in silence. But I never lose sight of my beloved child. You are always before me because my love for you does not fade with time or change with circumstances. I know there were seasons when you felt invisible. You worked faithfully, loved sincerely, gave generously, and still wondered why your efforts seemed unnoticed. You questioned whether your quiet acts of kindness mattered. You wondered if your perseverance had any purpose. But I saw every sacrifice. I counted every tear. I noticed every time you chose forgiveness instead of bitterness, patience instead of anger, and hope instead of despair. The things that others overlooked were precious to me because they revealed the beauty of your heart. There were times when you believed your prayers had disappeared into an empty sky. You repeated the same requests until you no longer had words, only sighs too deep to express. You wondered whether I was listening or whether heaven had become silent toward you. My beloved child, every prayer reached me. Not one plea was ignored. Not one whisper was lost. I held each prayer with tenderness, even when my answer required waiting. The delay was never because I had forgotten your voice. It was because I was answering in ways that extended far beyond what you could see. Think of a shepherd who knows every sheep in the flock. Even if one wanders into a distant valley, the shepherd does not erase it from his heart. Instead, his attention turns toward the one that feels lost. In the same way, whenever you felt alone, my heart remained fixed upon you. I walked beside you through valleys where no one else could follow. I strengthened you when your own courage seemed to disappear. I whispered hope into your spirit when fear tried to convince you that your future had ended. Do you remember the unexpected moments when peace entered your heart without explanation? The times when strength appeared just as you thought you could not take another step? The unexpected kindness of a stranger, the encouraging words from a friend, the quiet comfort that settled over you in the middle of a difficult night. Those were not accidents. Those were reminders of my presence. They were gentle evidence that I had never left you to face your journey alone. I have always found ways to remind you that my hand was still holding yours, even when you could not clearly see it. You have measured your life by visible progress, but I measure it by something far deeper. I have watched your faith grow through hardship. I have seen compassion bloom from your pain. I have witnessed humility take root where pride once stood. Every challenge that seemed to diminish you has actually shaped you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable of carrying the blessings I have prepared. You may have believed you were standing still, but your soul has been moving closer to the purpose I designed for you. Never believe that your value depends upon how quickly your circumstances change. Your worth has never been determined by success, recognition, or achievement. Your worth has always been found in the simple truth that you are mine. I chose to love you before you earned anything. I chose to remain faithful before you understood my ways. My love is not a reward for perfect living. It is the unchanging foundation upon which your life rests. Nothing you have faced has made me love you less, and nothing you accomplish will make me love you more. My love is complete because it flows from my nature, not from your performance. So when doubt whispers that you have been forgotten, answer it with the truth of my promises. When loneliness tells you that no one sees your struggle, remember that my eyes have never turned away from you. When waiting tempts you to believe your story has been abandoned, remember that I am still writing every chapter with perfect wisdom and unfailing love. My beloved child, lift your heart once again. You are not overlooked. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. I have carried your name through every season, held your future securely in my hands, and surrounded you with a love that has never weakened. Even now, while you listen to my voice, I am drawing you closer, reminding you that the one who created you has never stopped watching over you. The days ahead will reveal what your heart has struggled to believe, that I was with you all along, faithfully leading you toward the beautiful future I have prepared just for you. My beloved child, I know there have been times when your life has felt like a collection of scattered pieces that refused to fit together. You looked at one disappointment, one unanswered prayer, one unexpected loss, and one surprising opportunity, and you could not understand how any of them could possibly belong to the same story. From where you stood, everything appeared disconnected. Some memories brought joy, while others brought pain. Some seasons were filled with hope, while others seemed covered in uncertainty. You tried to make sense of it all, but the picture remained incomplete. Today I want you to see your journey through my eyes, because what appears fragmented to you has always been perfectly connected to me. When an artist begins a masterpiece, those who watch the first few strokes cannot imagine the finished work. They may see only scattered colors and uneven lines. They might even wonder if the artist knows what he is doing. Yet every brushstroke has a purpose, even if that purpose is not immediately visible. I am the artist of your life, my beloved child, and every experience has been placed with intention. Nothing has been added carelessly, and nothing has been allowed without meaning. The parts of your story that confuse you today will one day reveal a beauty that could not have existed without each carefully chosen detail. You have often judged your life by individual moments instead of the complete picture. You have looked at a painful ending and believed it was the end of your story. You have experienced a season of waiting and assumed nothing meaningful was happening. You have faced unexpected changes and feared that your future had been thrown into disorder. But I do not build lives one isolated moment at a time. I weave every experience together until they form something stronger, wiser, and more beautiful than you could have imagined. Think about a tapestry being woven by skilled hands. From underneath, all you see are loose threads crossing in different directions. They appear tangled and without design. If you judge the tapestry from that angle alone, you might believe it was ruined. But the one weaving it sees the finished pattern from above. Every thread has its place. Every color serves a purpose. Every crossing point contributes to the beauty that will eventually be revealed. My beloved child, you have often been looking from underneath, while I have always seen the completed design. There are conversations you thought were ordinary that quietly shaped your future. There are disappointments that redirected you away from paths that would never have brought lasting peace. There are friendships that entered your life for a season because they carried lessons you needed, even if they were never meant to remain forever. There are doors that closed not because I was punishing you, but because I was protecting the greater purpose waiting beyond them. Even your mistakes, when surrendered into my hands, have become places where wisdom has grown. I have never wasted a single chapter of your journey. You may still carry questions about things that happened years ago. You wonder why certain dreams faded, why certain relationships changed, or why certain opportunities disappeared just when they seemed within reach. I understand those questions because I have walked beside you through every moment of disappointment. Yet I ask you not to let unanswered questions keep you from trusting my heart. You do not need every explanation today in order to walk confidently with me tomorrow. As each new season unfolds, I will reveal what your heart is ready to understand. The clarity you seek will come at the right time, and when it does, you will see that my wisdom reached far beyond your limited view. Even now, pieces are coming together that you cannot yet recognize. The strength you gained during difficult years is preparing you for responsibilities that are approaching. The compassion born from your own pain is becoming a source of healing for someone else. The patience you learned through waiting is giving you the endurance to carry future blessings with humility. Every lesson had been shaping the person you are becoming. Nothing has been random. Nothing has been meaningless. Everything has been moving according to my loving purpose. Do not become discouraged simply because the entire picture has not yet appeared. A sunrise does not reveal the whole day in a single moment. It begins with the faintest light on the horizon, and little by little the landscape becomes clear. In the same way, I reveal my plans step by step, not because I delight in mystery, but because I delight in walking closely with you. If I showed you everything at once, you might admire the destination while forgetting the joy of trusting me along the journey. I desire more than your arrival. I desire your heart. I want you to discover that my presence is the greatest gift you could ever receive, even before every promise is fulfilled. So lift your eyes beyond the scattered pieces that trouble you today. Refuse to believe that your story is broken simply because it is unfinished. The chapters you have already lived are not isolated events. They are connected by my faithful hands. Every tear has meaning. Every victory has purpose. Every delay has added depth. Every moment of surrender has drawn you closer to the person I created you to be. My beloved child, continue walking with confidence, even when you cannot yet see the entire picture. Trust the one who holds every piece. Trust the one who sees the beginning and the end at the same time. Trust the one whose love has guided every step of your journey. Soon you will begin to recognize what I have always known, that the pieces of your life have never been falling apart. They have been slowly, carefully, and beautifully coming together according to my perfect plan. My beloved child, there are wounds within you that few people have ever noticed. Many have seen your smile, heard your laughter, and admired your strength, but they have not seen the quiet places in your heart where pain has hidden itself. They could not hear the silent conversations you had with yourself after disappointment found you. They did not witness the nights when old memories returned without warning, or the moments when you questioned whether you would ever feel completely whole again. But I have seen every hidden wound. I have known every unspoken fear. Nothing buried deep within your soul has ever been concealed from my loving eyes. I do not only heal what is visible. I do not merely mend what others recognize. I go to the places that have remained untouched for years. The places where disappointment built walls, where rejection planted doubt, where grief settled quietly, and where fear convinced you that certain parts of your heart could never be restored. I enter those hidden rooms with gentleness, not condemnation. I do not force open the doors you have kept locked. I stand patiently beside them, inviting you to trust me enough to let my light shine where darkness has lingered for far too long. You have carried burdens that were never meant to become permanent companions. Some were placed upon you by careless words spoken long ago. Others came through broken relationships, unmet expectations, or seasons when life unfolded differently than you imagined. Over time, you became accustomed to carrying these weights. You learned to function while wounded. You convinced yourself that surviving was the same as healing. But my beloved child, surviving is not the fullness of life I desire for you. I have called you to something greater. I have called you into freedom. Healing is not always sudden. Sometimes it comes quietly, like the morning light slowly filling a room after a long night. You may not notice the darkness leaving at first, but little by little the shadows lose their hold. In the same way, my healing often unfolds one gentle step at a time. I restore trust where betrayal once lived. I plant hope where despair once took root. I replace fear with peace and bitterness with compassion. The transformation may seem small from one day to the next, but over time you will discover that the person you have become is no longer held captive by yesterday's pain. There may be moments when healing feels uncomfortable because it requires you to release what has become familiar. Even painful memories can become strange companions when they have remained with you for many years. Letting them go may feel uncertain, but I ask you not to cling to wounds simply because they are familiar. I am not asking you to pretend the pain never happened. I am inviting you to allow me to transform its purpose. What once brought tears can become a testimony of my faithfulness. What once weakened your heart can become the very place where my strength shines most brightly. Remember how a skilled physician treats an injury. There are times when the wound must first be carefully cleaned before complete healing can begin. That process is not meant to increase suffering but to prevent deeper harm. In the same way, I sometimes bring forgotten pain gently into the light, not to reopen your sorrow but to remove what has quietly prevented your heart from fully recovering. Because I know every part of you, I also know exactly how much you can bear. My hands are always tender. My timing is always wise. My purpose is always restoration. Do not believe the voice that tells you you are too broken to be made whole. That voice has never come from me. I have never looked upon your scars with disappointment. I see them as places where my love can reveal its greatest beauty. The cracks in your heart do not frighten me. They simply become places where my healing light can enter more deeply. Nothing in your past has the power to stop the future I have prepared for you when you continue placing your trust in me. I also want you to understand that healing is not forgetting. It is remembering without being controlled by the pain. It is looking back and recognizing that what once defined your life no longer holds authority over your future. Healing allows you to forgive without denying the hurt. It allows you to move forward without carrying chains that no longer belong to you. It allows you to love again without allowing fear to dictate every step. This is the freedom I desire for my beloved child. Even now, while you are listening to my voice, I am working within you. There are burdens becoming lighter, fears losing their grip, and hopes awakening that you believed had disappeared forever. You may not yet recognize every change, but my healing has already begun. Every moment you choose to trust me instead of your fear opens another doorway for my peace to enter your heart. So do not rush this sacred process. Be patient with yourself as I have always been patient with you. Celebrate the small victories, for they are signs that life is returning to places that once felt empty. Allow my love to reach every hidden corner of your soul. Let my truth replace every lie that pain has whispered over your life. Rest in the assurance that I am not finished with you. My beloved child, I am healing what others cannot see, because I care not only about the life you show the world, but also about the heart you carry within. As I continue my work in you, the day will come when others notice a peace they cannot explain, a joy that no circumstance can steal, and a quiet strength that reflects my presence. They will see the beauty of your restored life, but you will know the truth, that it was my faithful love, working patiently in the hidden places, that made you whole. My beloved child, I know there have been days when you wished the battles would simply end. You grew tired of carrying burdens that seemed too heavy for your shoulders. You became weary of facing one challenge after another, wondering why peace appeared so distant. There were moments when you questioned whether the struggle itself had become your destination. You asked why the road seemed steeper for you than for others. You wondered if you had somehow failed because life required so much endurance. But I tell you today, the battles you have faced were never sent to destroy you. They have been preparing a strength within you that comfort alone could never produce. Consider how iron is shaped into a mighty sword. It is not formed by remaining untouched. It passes through fire, bears the weight of the hammer, and endures intense pressure before it becomes strong enough to fulfill its purpose. If the iron could speak during the process, it might believe it was being ruined. Yet the craftsman knows that every strike serves a purpose. My beloved child, I have never struck your life carelessly. I have never allowed hardship without also holding you securely through it. Every trial has been used to shape your character, deepen your faith, and prepare you for the calling that lies ahead. There were seasons when you believed you had reached the limit of your strength. You thought you could not endure another disappointment, another delay, or another unanswered question. Yet somehow you continued moving forward. You know why. It was because I was carrying you, even when you did not realize it. The strength that kept you standing was not born from your own ability alone. It came from my presence sustaining you when your own strength was no longer enough. Every morning that you rose again after a difficult night was evidence that my hand had never released you. You often asked me to remove every obstacle from your path. But there are times when the obstacle itself becomes the place where your greatest growth begins. A tree standing in a sheltered place may grow tall, but without strong winds its roots remain shallow. When storms arrive, those shallow roots cannot hold it firmly. Yet the tree that has faced fierce winds develops roots that reach deeper into the earth. Those roots become its strength. In the same way, every challenge you have endured has been sending your faith deeper into me. What once felt like resistance has actually been creating stability within your soul. Do not despise the lessons learned through hardship. The patience you now possess was born from waiting. The compassion you show others was born from your own seasons of pain. The wisdom guiding your decisions today came from mistakes you surrendered into my hands. Even your tears have become teachers. They have shown you the value of hope, the importance of trust, and the beauty of my constant presence. Nothing you have experienced has been wasted because I have been transforming every struggle into strength. There were battles you thought you lost, yet those very moments protected you from victories that would have led you away from my purpose. There were dreams that fell apart because they could not carry the future I had prepared. There were relationships that ended because they could not accompany you into the next season of your life. I know those endings hurt, and I never ignored your sorrow. But when you mourn what with leaving, I was already preparing what with coming. My plans have never been limited by what you have lost. They have always been built upon what I am creating. My beloved child, I also want you to understand that strength is not the absence of weakness. True strength is choosing to trust me while you still feel vulnerable. It is continuing to love after disappointment. It is choosing forgiveness when resentment seems easier. It is taking another step forward even when the entire path remains hidden. That kind of strength does not come from human determination alone. It is the quiet work of my spirit within you, shaping your heart day by day. You may look at yourself and still see someone who struggles. I look at you and see someone who has refused to give up despite countless reasons to surrender. I see the courage that has grown through every difficult decision. I see the resilience that has formed each time you chose hope instead of despair. I see a heart becoming more compassionate, more patient, and more deeply rooted in my love. You are not the same person you were when this journey began. The battles have changed you, but they have not diminished you. They have refined you. So when another challenge appears, do not immediately assume that you have been abandoned. Remember everything I have already brought you through. Recall the moments when you believed there was no way forward, yet I faithfully opened one. Let every past victory remind you that I remain the same today. The one who strengthened you yesterday will strengthen you again tomorrow. My faithfulness has never depended upon the ease of your circumstances. My beloved child, lift your head with confidence. The battles have not been writing the story of your defeat. They have been preparing the story of your endurance. They have been building a foundation of unshakable faith that no storm can remove. The strength growing within you today will become a blessing not only for your own future, but also for those whose lives you will one day encourage. Continue walking with me. Continue trusting my heart. For every battle you have endured has been shaping you into the person I lovingly created you to become, and the victory I am preparing will reveal that none of your struggles were ever without purpose. My beloved child, there are moments when it seems as though every door before you has remained firmly closed. You have knocked with hope, prayed with sincerity, and waited with patience, yet the opportunities you longed for appeared just beyond your reach. At times you have wondered if the season of new beginnings would ever arrive. You questioned whether your best days had already passed or whether the dreams I placed within your heart had quietly faded away. But I tell you now, do not let what you see today convince you that nothing is changing. New doors are much closer than you think, and even now I am preparing you to walk through them with confidence and peace. You often focus on the door that remains shut because it is directly in front of you. Yet I see the entire path. I know which opportunities will bring lasting joy and which ones would only lead to temporary satisfaction. There have been doors I lovingly closed because they would have taken you away from the purpose I created for your life. You may have stood before them with disappointment, believing that I had denied you something good. But I was protecting you from settling for less than my best. Every closed door had been an expression of my wisdom, not a sign of my rejection. Do not assume that preparation means delay alone. Preparation is evidence that something valuable is approaching. A builder does not prepare a foundation without intending to raise a house upon it. A farmer does not prepare the soil without expecting a harvest. In the same way, I have not been shaping your heart, strengthening your character, and teaching you to trust without also preparing a future that reflects my promises. The work I have been doing within you is proof that I have not forgotten what I spoke over your life. There are opportunities already moving toward you that you cannot yet see. Conversations are taking place beyond your awareness. Circumstances are quietly aligning. Hearts are being prepared. Paths are being cleared. What seems impossible from your limited perspective is entirely possible within my hands. I do not need visible signs before I begin my work. I move long before the results become obvious. While you have been wondering whether anything is happening, I have been arranging details with perfect precision. Think about the dawn before sunrise. The horizon may still appear dark, yet the light has already begun its journey. Though your eyes cannot fully perceive it, morning is drawing near. In the same way, the answers you have been waiting for are often much closer than you realize. The breakthrough may not announce itself with great noise. It may arrive quietly, through one unexpected conversation, one simple decision, one ordinary day that becomes extraordinary because my hand is upon it. Never underestimate the power of the small moments I place before you. My beloved child, I also want you to understand that not every new door looks the way you imagined. Sometimes you expect me to answer your prayers by restoring what you lost, while I intend to give you something entirely new. You may be looking behind you, hoping an old chapter will return, while I am inviting you to step into a future that has never been written before. Do not let attachment to yesterday prevent you from embracing what I am creating today. The blessings ahead of you are not meant to replace your past. They are meant to fulfill the purpose for which your past has prepared you. As these new doors approach, I ask you to remain ready. Readiness is not found in fearfully trying to predict every detail of tomorrow. It is found in faithfully walking with me today. Continue growing in kindness even when no one notices. Continue choosing integrity when it would be easier to compromise. Continue praying even when the answer has not yet appeared. Continue serving with humility and loving with sincerity. Every act of faithfulness is preparing you to carry the opportunities I have prepared without losing sight of the one who provided them. Do not compare your journey to the journeys of others. Some doors open quickly, while others require longer seasons of preparation. The value of the opportunity is not measured by how fast it arrives, but by how perfectly it fits the purpose I have designed for you. If I have asked you to wait, it is because I know the exact moment when the door will open most beautifully. Trust my timing more than your own expectations. I have never been early, and I have never been late. I arrive precisely when your heart, your circumstances, and my greater plan are ready to meet. There will come a day when you stand before an open door that once seemed impossible. In that moment, you will remember the waiting, the uncertainty, and the prayers that felt unanswered. You will realize that every delay strengthened you, every disappointment redirected you, and every lesson prepared you. What once appeared to be closed pathways will reveal themselves as necessary turns that led you exactly where you needed to be. Your gratitude will be greater because you will understand that the blessing was never simply the open door. The blessing was the relationship we built together while you waited. So lift your eyes, my beloved child. Refuse to let discouragement become your guide. Refuse to believe that closed doors define your future. I am the one who opens doors that no obstacle can keep shut, and when I invite you forward, no force can prevent my purpose from being fulfilled. Walk with expectation instead of fear. Walk with hope instead of doubt. Keep your heart open, your spirit willing, and your trust firmly placed in me. The new doors you have been praying for are not as distant as they seem. Even now, I am leading you toward them one faithful step at a time. Continue following my voice, continue trusting my heart, and continue believing that what I have promised will come to pass. The season before you is not one of loss, but of arrival, and when the door opens, you will know beyond all doubt that it was my hand that led you there all along. My beloved child, there are some things you have carried for far too long. They were never meant to remain in your hands, yet somewhere along the journey you accepted them as though they were your responsibility. You have carried regrets from decisions you wish you could change. You have carried guilt over moments that still echo in your mind. You have carried the weight of words spoken against you, disappointments that never fully healed, and fears about a future you cannot yet see. These burdens have become so familiar that you sometimes forget what it feels like to walk in freedom. But today I invite you to release what no longer belongs to you. I never created you to live beneath the constant pressure of yesterday. Your past may have shaped part of your story, but it was never meant to imprison your future. Too often you return to old memories, hoping that if you examine them one more time, you will finally understand them or somehow rewrite what has already happened. Yet no amount of worry can change yesterday, and no amount of fear can prepare you for tomorrow. What I ask of you is far simpler and far more powerful. Place both your past and your future into my hands, and allow your heart to rest in my presence today. Think about a traveler preparing for a long journey. If that traveler insists on carrying every unnecessary possession, the road quickly becomes exhausting. What should have been an adventure turns into a struggle simply because the burden is too great. In the same way, Many of the weights you carry were never placed upon you by me. They came from fear, disappointment, comparison, or the expectations of others. Every extra burden slows your steps and steals the joy I desire you to experience. I am not asking you to ignore your experiences. I am asking you to stop carrying what my love has already offered to bear. There are people you still need to forgive, not because they earned your forgiveness, but because I desire your freedom. Forgiveness does not declare that what happened was acceptable. It does not erase the pain or deny the truth. Forgiveness simply releases the burden of revenge and places justice into my hands. When you refuse to forgive, the wound continues to shape your present. But when you entrust that pain to me, I begin to restore the parts of your heart that resentment has quietly imprisoned. I know forgiveness is not always easy, yet I will never ask you to do it alone. I will strengthen you with every step. There are also dreams that you have held on to long after their season has ended. Some of those dreams were beautiful, and it is natural to grieve when they do not unfold as expected. But my beloved child, if I gently remove something from your hands, it is never because I delight in your disappointment. It is because I know that your hands cannot receive something new while they remain tightly closed around what has already passed. Sometimes letting go is not an act of losing. Sometimes it is the first act of receiving. Do not hold on to fear as though it can protect you. Fear promises safety, but it only builds invisible walls around your heart. It tells you to avoid disappointment by refusing to hope again. It tells you to avoid pain by refusing to trust again. Yet those walls that seem to offer protection also keep joy from entering. I did not create your heart to live behind walls of fear. I created it to flourish in the freedom of my love. When you trust me, you discover that my presence is a greater refuge than fear could ever provide. Perhaps you have also been carrying expectations that were never mine. You believed you had to prove your worth through constant achievement. You thought you had to earn acceptance by never making mistakes. You measured yourself against the lives of others and quietly concluded that you were falling behind. Release those false standards today. Your identity has never been found in comparison. Your value has never depended upon perfection. You are loved because you are mine, not because you have accomplished everything you hope to accomplish. As you let go, do not imagine that you are being left with emptiness. What I remove, I replace with something better. Where guilt once lived, I plant peace. Where fear once ruled, I establish courage. Where bitterness once grew, I cultivate compassion. Where regret once whispered, I speak hope. Every burden surrendered creates space for my grace to work more deeply within you. Empty hands are not a sign of loss when they are extended toward me. They are the posture of trust, ready to receive what I have prepared. My beloved child, this is not the season to cling to what has already fulfilled its purpose. This is the season to move forward with confidence. The road ahead requires freedom, not unnecessary weight. It requires hope, not constant regret. It requires faith, not fear. I will not ask you to carry tomorrow before it arrives, and I will not ask you to relive yesterday as though it still has authority over your life. Walk with me one step at a time. So release the burdens that have grown too heavy. Lay them gently into my hands. Trust that I am able to carry what you never could. Let go of the pain that no longer serves your future, the fear that no longer belongs in your heart, and the lies that have tried to define your identity. As you surrender these things to me, you will discover that freedom is not found in holding on more tightly. Freedom is found in trusting my love enough to let go. And when your hands are finally open, you will be ready to receive the beautiful new season that is already drawing near. My beloved child, there comes a moment in every journey when the old season quietly gives way to the new. It does not always happen with loud announcements or dramatic signs. Often it begins with a gentle stirring within your heart, a growing awareness that the place where you have been can no longer contain the person you are becoming. That is where you are now. You are entering a different season, and although you may not yet see every detail of what lies ahead, I already know every step that will unfold before you. Do not be afraid if familiar things begin to change. Change often feels uncomfortable because it asks you to release what you have known in order to embrace what you have not yet experienced. But remember this, my beloved child, I never lead you away from one season unless I have already prepared another. I do not remove you from places of growth to leave you wandering without purpose. Every transition I allow carries the promise of new life, deeper wisdom, and greater intimacy with me. Think about the changing of the seasons in nature. No tree mourns forever when its leaves begin to fall. Though it may appear bare for a time, life is still flowing through its branches. Beneath the surface, new growth is already being prepared. When spring arrives, what once seemed empty becomes filled with fresh beauty. In the same way, some things in your life have reached their appointed conclusion. They are making room for something new that could never flourish while the old remained unchanged. You have spent many days learning lessons that were not easy to embrace. You discovered patience while waiting for answers. You found courage in moments when fear surrounded you. You learned compassion because you experienced pain firsthand. You learned to trust me when circumstances gave you no other certainty. None of those lessons were wasted. They have become the foundation upon which this new season will be built. You are not stepping into the future as the same person who began this journey. You have been transformed by my faithful hand. Do not allow memories of past disappointments to become the lens through which you view tomorrow. Every new season deserves to be received with fresh faith. If you continue expecting every door to close because some closed before, you will struggle to recognize the ones I am opening. If you continue believing every opportunity will end in disappointment, you may hesitate when I invite you to move forward. Leave those fears behind. They belong to seasons that have already fulfilled their purpose. I know there is still uncertainty within your heart. You wonder what this new season will look like. You wonder which prayers will finally be answered and which dreams will begin to awaken. While I may not reveal every detail today, I ask you to trust the one who already stands in your tomorrow. You do not need complete knowledge to walk confidently when my hand is holding yours. One step of faith is enough for today, and when tomorrow comes, I will provide the grace needed for that day as well. This new season is not simply about receiving blessings. It is about becoming the person I created you to be. The opportunities ahead will require the humility you have learned, the patience you have gained, and the faith that has been strengthened through every battle. You are ready in ways you do not yet recognize because I have been preparing you all along. What once felt like delay has quietly become preparation. What once looked like loss has become wisdom. What once brought tears has become compassion that will bless many lives. So lift your eyes with expectation. Walk forward without clinging to what has already passed. Do not fear the unfamiliar road, because I will walk every step beside you. The season ahead has been written by my loving hands, and nothing can prevent my purpose from unfolding as you continue to trust me. The waiting is giving way to movement. The preparation is giving way to opportunity. The hidden work is beginning to reveal its fruit. My beloved child, welcome this new season with hope, because I have filled it with my presence, my peace, and my promises. As this truth settles into your heart, I invite those whom I have stirred through these words to become part of something far greater than a single message. Every act of generosity becomes a seed that allows my light to reach another weary soul searching for hope. My word declares that those who sow generously will also reap generously, and I continue to breathe life into that promise for every willing heart. If you have been asking, Lord, how can I help you reach someone who is hurting? This is one beautiful way to answer that call. Through your YouTube Super Thanks or membership, you help carry these messages of comfort, healing, and restoration to hearts across the world. If you prefer, you may also give through the PayPal donation link provided in the video description, and you will also find it available through the QR code shown with this video. Do not see your giving as a donation alone. See it as planting seeds into a harvest of transformed lives that I am already preparing. I bless every cheerful giver with renewed peace, fresh strength, and the joy of knowing that their obedience is touching lives they may never meet on this side of eternity. Let your generosity become a living testimony that my love continues to flow through willing hearts. Rise now, sow your seed, strengthen this mission, and become part of the work I am unfolding through these words. My beloved child, there have been many times when you carefully planned your future, believing you knew exactly how your life should unfold. You imagined the doors that would open, the relationships that would last, the opportunities that would arrive, and the dreams that would come true according to your own timetable. When those plans changed, you felt disappointed. When unexpected detours appeared, you wondered whether your life had somehow drifted away from its purpose. But I want you to understand something that will bring peace to your heart. My plans for you have always been greater than the plans you could ever create for yourself. This does not mean your dreams were foolish or your hopes were unimportant. I placed within you the desire to grow, to love, to build, and to serve. I delight in the dreams that draw you closer to the purpose for which I created you. Yet there are moments when your vision is limited by what you can presently see, while my vision reaches beyond every horizon. I see the beginning, the middle, and the end of your story all at once. I know the roads that lead to lasting joy and the paths that only appear promising for a season. Because I love you completely, I guide you toward what will truly fulfill the calling I have placed upon your life. Imagine a child standing before a mountain. From the child's position, the mountain seems to block the entire world beyond it. The child may believe there is nothing waiting on the other side because the view is hidden. Yet the parent standing nearby knows that valleys, rivers, forests, and beautiful landscapes lie just beyond what the child can see. My beloved child, there have been mountains in your life that made you believe your future had come to an end. But I have always known what was waiting beyond them. What appeared to be an obstacle was often the very path leading you toward something greater than you imagined. You have sometimes mistaken my redirection for rejection. When a door closed, you believed your opportunity had disappeared. When circumstances changed unexpectedly, you wondered whether I had withdrawn my favor. But my guidance is never rooted in rejection. It is rooted in love. I do not close one path because I delight in disappointment. I redirect you because I see dangers you cannot see and blessings you have not yet imagined. Every change I allow is guided by wisdom that reaches far beyond your present understanding. There are blessings you once prayed for that would have satisfied your heart for a short time, but I desired to give you something that would shape your life for years to come. There were moments when you asked me for immediate relief, while I was preparing lasting transformation. You asked for an easier road, while I was building a stronger heart. You asked me to remove every challenge, while I was using those very challenges to prepare you for responsibilities that required greater faith and deeper character. My answers have not always matched your expectations, but they have always been shaped by my perfect love. I want you to release the pressure of believing that every detail depends upon your own understanding. You were never called to control every outcome. You were called to walk with me in trust. There is freedom in recognizing that you do not have to carry the weight of knowing everything. You do not have to solve every mystery before taking your next step. I have already gone before you. I have prepared places your feet have not yet touched. I have arranged moments that will arrive exactly when they are needed. My responsibility is to guide. Your responsibility is to trust. Remember how many times I have already surprised you. Think of the unexpected blessings that arrived after seasons of waiting. Recall the friendships that entered your life when you least expected them, the opportunities that appeared after you believed all hope was gone, and the strength you discovered in moments when you thought you had nothing left to give. Those moments were reminders that my plans have never been confined to your expectations. I delight in doing more than you can imagine because my love is not limited by human understanding. As you move forward, resist the temptation to cling too tightly to your own picture of how life should unfold. Hold your dreams with open hands before me. Continue to dream, continue to hope, and continue to work faithfully. But leave room for me to write chapters more beautiful than the ones you have imagined. Sometimes my greatest gifts arrive in packages you did not expect. Sometimes my most meaningful answers begin as unexpected detours. If you remain open to my leading, you will discover blessings that would never have appeared had everything gone according to your own plans. My beloved child, I have never asked you to understand everything before trusting me. I ask you to remember my faithfulness. The same hands that carried you through every previous season are still holding you today. The same voice that guided you through uncertainty continues to lead you now. The same love that refused to abandon you in your darkest moments will remain with you through every joyful victory that lies ahead. So rest your heart in this truth. My plans have always been greater than yours because my love for you is greater than your fears. My wisdom is greater than your understanding, and my vision extends far beyond what your eyes can presently see. Continue walking with confidence, knowing that every step you take with me is leading you toward a future carefully prepared by my hands. One day you will look back over your entire journey and realize that the life I was writing for you was more beautiful, more meaningful, and more fulfilling than anything you could have planned on your own. My beloved child, I know how fear has tried to speak to you. It has whispered in the quiet moments when no one else was listening. It has followed you into your decisions, your relationships, your dreams, and even your prayers. It has told you that you are not enough, that you will fail, that the future cannot be trusted, and that your past will always define you. Fear has attempted to become the voice that guides your steps. But today I tell you with unwavering love and authority, fear will no longer control you. It may knock at the door of your heart, but it does not have permission to rule the life that I have entrusted to you. Fear often disguises itself as wisdom. It tells you that if you expect less, you will not be disappointed. It tells you that if you never risk loving again, you can never be hurt again. It tells you that if you never step into a new opportunity, you can never fail. But my beloved child, that is not wisdom. That is captivity. I did not create you to spend your days hiding from the very life I have prepared for you. I created you to walk in freedom, guided by my love rather than driven by anxiety. Remember how a child learns to walk. There are stumbles on certain steps, and occasional falls. Yet a loving father does not expect perfection before encouraging the child to move forward. Instead, he stretches out his hands, celebrates every step, and gently lifts the child each time they fall. That is how I have always walked with you. I have never demanded flawless performance before offering my love. I have never turned away because you stumbled. Every time you have fallen, my hand has been ready to lift you again. Why then should you fear taking the next step when I am the one who is holding you? Fear also has a way of magnifying tomorrow while stealing the peace of today. It fills your mind with questions that have no answers yet. It invites you to imagine every possible disappointment, every possible failure, and every possible loss. Before long, you find yourself carrying burdens that do not even exist. My beloved child, I never ask you to live inside imagined futures. I have given you grace for today. When tomorrow arrives, I will provide fresh grace for that day as well. Do not spend today's strength fighting battles that have not come. Instead, walk faithfully with me in this moment, trusting that I will remain faithful in every moment that follows. There have been seasons when fear convinced you that because something painful happened once, it would happen again. You began to expect rejection because you had experienced rejection before. You anticipated loss because you had known loss. You hesitated to trust because trust had once been broken. But I am not limited by your past experiences. I am able to create new beginnings where old endings once brought sorrow. Do not let yesterday become the author of tomorrow. I alone hold the pen that writes your future. I know there are dreams you have quietly placed aside because fear persuaded you they were too difficult or too risky. You told yourself that it was safer not to hope than to hope and be disappointed. Yet hope is one of the gifts I placed within your heart. It is the quiet confidence that my goodness is still at work, even when circumstances seem uncertain. I do not ask you to place your hope in changing situations. I ask you to place it in me, because I do not change. When fear begins to whisper, answer it with the truth of my presence. Fear says, "You are alone." I say, "I have never left your side." Fear says, "You will not have enough." I say, "I will provide what you need at the right time." Fear says, "You cannot overcome this." I say, "I have already been strengthening you through every battle you have faced." Fear speaks from uncertainty, but I speak from eternal truth. My voice has always been stronger, even when fear seemed louder. There is a peace I desire to place within your heart that does not depend upon perfect circumstances. It is not the absence of challenges. It is the assurance that you do not face those challenges alone. This peace grows as you spend time with me, as you remember my faithfulness, and as you choose trust over worry one decision at a time. It may begin quietly, but it will become stronger than every anxious thought that once troubled your soul. Do not think that courage means never feeling afraid. Courage is choosing to obey my voice even when fear still tries to speak. Courage is taking one faithful step while trusting that I will guide the next. Courage is believing my promises when your emotions have not yet caught up with your faith. Every act of trust weakens fear's influence and strengthens your confidence in my love. My beloved child, I am inviting you into a new way of living. No longer allow fear to make your decisions, shape your expectations, or define your identity. Let my truth become the foundation beneath every step you take. Let my love quiet every anxious thought. Let my presence become the place where your heart finds rest. You do not have to know every answer because you know the one who holds every answer. So lift your eyes toward me. Breathe deeply in the assurance of my unfailing care. Release every fear that has tried to hold your future hostage. Place every uncertainty into my hands. As you continue walking with me, you will discover that the chains fear once wrapped around your heart are falling away. In their place, I am building unwavering faith, lasting peace, and quiet confidence. My beloved child, fear will no longer control you, because my perfect love is teaching your heart how to live in freedom. My beloved child, there is a strength growing within you that cannot be measured by what others see. Many people think strength is found in never crying, never struggling, or never feeling weary. but I know the deeper truth. True strength is born in the quiet moments when you choose to trust me after disappointment. It is formed when you continue to love after your heart hath been wounded. It grows every time you rise again after believing you had no strength left to stand. That is the strength I have been building within you, and it is becoming part of who you are. I know there were days when your heart felt exhausted. You carried responsibilities that seemed endless. You tried to encourage others while silently searching for encouragement yourself. You offered kindness even when you were hurting. You continued moving forward while wondering how much longer you could endure. My beloved child, I saw every unseen battle. I watched every silent act of perseverance. There was never a moment when I looked away from your struggle. While you thought you were simply surviving, I was quietly strengthening the deepest parts of your heart. Consider how my yoke grows. It does not become strong in a single season. Year after year, it stands through changing weather. It faces scorching heat, heavy rain, fierce winds, and bitter cold. Every season leaves its mark, but each one also makes the tree stronger. Its roots reach deeper, its trunk becomes firmer, and its branches become more capable of carrying life. In the same way, every season you have endured has been extending the roots of your faith. The storms were not sent to uproot you. They became opportunities for your heart to grow more firmly anchored in my love. There were moments when you asked me to remove the pressure surrounding you. I understood your desire because I know your limitations. Yet there were times when I allowed you to remain in difficult places a little longer, not because I enjoyed seeing you struggle, but because I knew what that season was producing within you. Patience cannot grow without waiting. Endurance cannot mature without challenge. Compassion often deepens through personal pain. The very qualities that will bless your future have been quietly developing through the experiences you once wished to escape. Do not underestimate the work I have been doing inside you simply because it has happened gradually. The greatest transformations often take place so gently that you do not notice them day by day. Yet if you pause and look back, you will see how differently you respond to situations that once overwhelmed you. You will notice that your peace lasts longer than it once did. You will recognize that your faith recovers more quickly after disappointment. You will realize that your heart has become softer instead of harder, even after everything it has endured. These are signs that my Spirit has been faithfully strengthening you from within. My beloved child, I do not strengthen your heart so that you can carry life's burdens alone. I strengthen your heart so that you will learn to depend upon me more deeply. There is a great difference between self-reliance and faithful dependence. Self-reliance eventually becomes exhausted because it draws only from human ability. Faithful dependence continues to find new strength because it draws from my endless supply of grace. Every morning I offer fresh mercy. Every day I provide new strength for the journey before you. You do not need to store enough strength for your entire future. You only need to receive what I freely give for today. There may still be moments when your emotions feel fragile. Do not mistake those moments for failure. Even hearts that are growing stronger sometimes grow tired. Rest is not weakness. Bringing your burdens to me is not weakness. Asking for my help is not weakness. These are acts of wisdom because they acknowledge the truth that you were never meant to carry life by yourself. I delight when you come to me with honesty. You do not need to hide your struggles behind a mask of constant confidence. I already know your heart completely, and my love has never depended upon your ability to appear strong. As I strengthen your heart, I am also expanding your capacity to receive greater blessings. There are responsibilities ahead that require the maturity you are developing now. There are people whose lives will one day be encouraged because you chose not to give up. There are conversations waiting in your future where your words will carry comfort because they were shaped by your own journey. I never allow growth without purpose. The strength I am building within you today will become a source of hope for many tomorrow. Do not compare your progress with anyone else's. Every heart grows at the pace I know is best. Some lessons take longer because they prepare you for greater responsibilities. Some seasons require deeper roots because stronger winds will come. But never mistake a longer season for forgotten love. I remain just as close to you in slow growth as I am in sudden breakthroughs. My faithfulness does not change with the speed of your progress. So when you feel weary again, remember that you are not returning to the person you once were. You are walking forward as someone I have been transforming day by day. The heart that once broke so easily is becoming resilient without losing its tenderness. The spirit that once trembled with uncertainty is learning to stand with quiet confidence. The faith that once depended upon visible answers is becoming anchored in my unchanging character. My beloved child, continue placing your heart into my hands each day. Allow me to renew your strength, calm your fears, and restore your hope. I am not only leading you toward a brighter future, I am shaping you into the person who will be able to walk through that future with wisdom, humility, compassion, and unwavering trust. I am strengthening your heart, and the work I have begun within you will continue until every part of your life reflects the beauty of my faithful love. My beloved child, there was a time when you looked at your life and saw only broken pieces. You wondered how so many unexpected turns, unanswered prayers, painful losses, and quiet disappointments could ever amount to anything meaningful. You questioned whether the struggles you endured had any purpose beyond the sorrow they brought. You asked why your journey seemed so different from what you had imagined. But I want you to see your story through my eyes today. What you have called broken, I have been calling unfinished. What you believed was the end of hope has become the beginning of a testimony that will reveal my faithfulness in ways you cannot yet fully understand. A testimony is not created by a life without difficulty. It is born when my grace carries someone through what should have defeated them. It is revealed when hope survives where despair once tried to take root. It becomes visible when love overcomes bitterness, when forgiveness replaces resentment, and when faith continues to rise after every fall. My beloved child, every chapter you have lived has been shaping a story that speaks not only of your endurance but of my unwavering presence beside you. Think about a river carving its way through solid rock. It does not accomplish this in a single day or through sudden force. It moves steadily, patiently, and faithfully. Over time, what once seemed impossible becomes undeniable. In the same way, my work within your life has been constant, even when it appeared slow. Every challenge you endured, every prayer you whispered, and every tear you cried has become part of the path through which my faithfulness is being revealed. You may not have recognized it while you were walking through the valley, but I was shaping a story that would one day encourage hearts far beyond your own. There were moments when you believed your weakness disqualified you from being used for anything meaningful. You thought your failures had written the final chapter. You assumed your mistakes would forever overshadow your purpose. But I have never measured your future by your failures. I measure it by my ability to restore, redeem, and transform. My power shines most beautifully where human strength has reached its limit. The places where you felt most broken have become the places where my healing has quietly been doing its greatest work. Do not be ashamed of the battles you have survived. They are not marks of defeat. They are reminders that I remain faithful through every season. The scars you carry are not evidence that I abandoned you. They are evidence that I healed you. The wound that has been restored no longer speaks only of pain. It speaks of recovery, perseverance, and hope. One day, Someone who feels trapped in the darkness you once knew will hear your story and discover the courage to keep believing because they will see what I have done in your life. There is someone you have never met whose prayer will one day be answered through the testimony I am writing in you. They may be facing the same fear you once carried. They may be grieving the same kind of loss that once brought you to tears. They may believe they are alone, just as you once believed. When they hear how I sustained you, strengthened you, and gently led you forward, they will begin to believe that I can do the same for them. Your story is becoming a bridge that leads others toward hope. Do not think that I only use the moments when you felt victorious. I also use the moments when you questioned, struggled, and waited. Your honesty has value. Your perseverance has value. Even the seasons when your faith felt small have value because they reveal that my faithfulness has never depended upon the size of your strength. I have been the constant foundation beneath every uncertain step you have taken. As you continue walking with me, you will begin to notice that your perspective is changing. Situations that once filled you with fear now remind you of how far I have already brought you. Challenges that once seemed impossible now become opportunities to remember my faithfulness. The very things that once threatened to silence your hope are becoming reasons for you to speak with confidence about my goodness. This transformation is not happening because your circumstances have always been easy. It is happening because my presence has remained unchanging through every circumstance. My beloved child, never believe that your life is too ordinary to reveal my glory. I delight in working through everyday people who simply continue trusting me one step at a time. Your kindness shown in difficult seasons, your quiet prayers offered through tears, your decision to forgive when it was painful, and your willingness to keep walking when you felt weary are all chapters of a testimony that reflects my love. Great testimonies are not built through extraordinary perfection. They are built through ordinary faithfulness sustained by extraordinary grace. There will come a day when you look back over this season and realize that the questions which once troubled your heart have become reminders of how faithfully I answered them in my own way. You will see connections that are hidden from you now. You will recognize how every delay prepared you, every battle strengthened you, and every disappointment redirected you toward something better. What once seemed like scattered moments will become a beautiful story woven together by my hands. So do not despise the chapter you are living today simply because it has not yet reached its conclusion. I am still writing. The pages are still turning. The story is still unfolding. Trust the Ova who never loses his way and never abandons the work of his hands. My beloved child, your story is becoming a testimony of my unfailing love, my perfect timing, and my restoring power. And when others read that story through the life you live, they will not simply admire your strength. They will come to know the greatness of the one who carried you through every chapter and never let you go. My beloved child, there are blessings surrounding you that you have not yet recognized because your heart has been focused on what seems to be missing. I understand why. When you have waited a long time for an answer, it is easy to measure your life by the one thing you are still hoping to receive. When you have experienced disappointment, your eyes naturally search for what has gone wrong instead of what is quietly going right. But today I am gently inviting you to see your life through my perspective. I am opening your eyes, not only to what I will do in the future, but also to what I have already been doing all around you. There have been countless moments when my hand was guiding you, even though you did not realize it at the time. There were conversations that seemed ordinary but changed the direction of your journey. There were delays that frustrated you, yet they kept you from stepping into situations that would have wounded your heart. There were unexpected moments of peace that settled over your soul without explanation. Those were not coincidences. They were reminders that I have been walking beside you every step of the way. Imagine someone standing at the edge of a beautiful valley before sunrise. At first, everything appears dark and empty. The mountains seem like shadows, and the flowers remain hidden beneath the night. But as the first light begins to spread across the horizon, details slowly emerge. Colors become visible. Paths become clear. Beauty that was always present can finally be seen. My beloved child, this is what I desire to do within your heart. I am not creating my goodness today as though it never existed before. I am helping you recognize the goodness that hath been present all along. Too often you have judged your life by what you cannot yet understand. You have asked, why has this not happened? While overlooking the countless ways I have already been sustaining you. You have wondered why one door remained closed while forgetting the many doors through which I faithfully carried you. You have focused on one unanswered prayer without noticing the hundreds of prayers I answered so quietly that they felt almost ordinary. But my faithfulness is found just as much in the ordinary moments as it is in the extraordinary ones. I want to teach your heart the beauty of gratitude, not because I need your praise, but because gratitude changes the way you see your life. A grateful heart begins to notice my fingerprints everywhere. It sees my provision in daily bread. It sees my protection in unseen dangers avoided. It sees my comfort in the kindness of another person. It sees my guidance in unexpected opportunities. Gratitude does not ignore hardship. It simply refuses to allow hardship to become the only story being told. There are blessings that arrive in quiet forms. Sometimes they come as wisdom gained through experience. Sometimes they come as strength you never knew you possessed until you needed it. Sometimes they come as peace that remains even when circumstances have not yet changed. The world often celebrates only visible success, but I rejoice in the unseen growth taking place within your soul. A heart becoming more compassionate is a blessing. A spirit becoming more patient is a blessing. A faith becoming more steadfast is a blessing. These are treasures that no storm can steal. My beloved child, I also want to open your eyes to the people I have placed in your life. Some have encouraged you with words they may not even remember speaking. Some have prayed for you when you did not know they were praying. Some have simply remained beside you during difficult seasons, offering quiet companionship instead of easy answers. These relationships are gifts from my hand. Do not overlook them while waiting for something else. Honor the blessings that are already present, and your heart will become more prepared to receive the blessings that are still on their way. I am also opening your eyes to the person you are becoming. Because you see yourself every day, you may not notice how much I have changed you. But I do. I see how you now respond with patience where you once reacted with frustration. I see how you choose forgiveness more quickly than before. I see how your first response in difficulty is increasingly to seek me instead of surrendering to fear. These changes may seem small, but they are evidence of my transforming work within you. You are growing, even when growth feels invisible. Do not allow comparison to blind you to your own journey. When you constantly measure your life against someone else's path, you stop noticing the unique ways I am working in yours. I have never asked you to become another person. I created you with a purpose unlike anyone else's. The blessings I have prepared for you are designed specifically for the life I have called you to live. Trust my wisdom enough to believe that your journey does not need to resemble anyone else's in order to be beautiful. As I continue opening your eyes, you will begin to notice hope where you once saw only uncertainty. You will recognize opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You will discover reasons to rejoice even before every prayer has been answered. This is not because your circumstances will always be perfect. It is because your vision is becoming clearer through my truth. So lift your eyes, my beloved child. Look beyond the disappointments that once captured your attention. Look beyond the fears that tried to define your future. See the evidence of my love that has surrounded you from the very beginning. Notice the strength I have placed within you, the peace I have planted in your heart, the people I have positioned beside you, and the doors I am quietly preparing ahead of you. I am opening your eyes because I want you to walk through life with confidence instead of confusion, with gratitude instead of constant striving, and with faith instead of fear. The more clearly you see my hand at work today, the more boldly you will trust me with tomorrow. My beloved child, I have been closer than you realized, more faithful than you imagined, and more active than you could see. As your eyes continue to open, you will discover that my goodness has been following you through every season, leading you faithfully toward the beautiful future I have prepared for you. My beloved child, there have been moments when loneliness settled over your heart so quietly that you almost accepted it as a permanent part of your life. You may have been surrounded by people and still felt unseen. You may have spoken with others throughout the day and yet carried burdens that no one truly understood. There were nights when the silence seemed louder than any conversation, and mornings when you wondered if anyone really knew the weight you were carrying. But I want you to hear me with complete certainty today. You have never walked alone. Not for 1 hour, not for one moment, not for a single breath have I abandoned your side. From the day your journey began, my presence has gone before you, walked beside you, and remained behind you as your protection. Even when you could not sense me, I was there. Even when your emotions whispered that you had been forgotten, my love never moved. Your feelings have changed with the seasons, but my faithfulness has never changed. I am not present only when life is peaceful. I remain just as close in the valley as I do on the mountaintop. My love is not measured by your circumstances, but by my unchanging nature. Think about a shepherd leading a flock through unfamiliar land. The sheep do not know every path ahead. They cannot see where the safest streams flow or where danger may be waiting beyond the next hill. Their confidence comes not from understanding the entire journey, but from staying close to the shepherd. In the same way, my beloved child, your peace is not found in knowing every detail of tomorrow. Your peace is found in remaining close to me. I know every path. I see every hidden danger. I also know every blessing waiting beyond the places you cannot yet see. There have been times when you believed you were carrying your burdens alone, but I was quietly helping you bear every one of them. Do you remember the moments when you thought you had reached your limit, yet somehow found the strength to keep going? That strength was not an accident. It was my hand supporting you. Do you remember the days when unexpected peace entered your heart despite difficult circumstances? That peace was my gift to you. Do you remember the people who arrived in your life with timely encouragement, wise counsel, or simple acts of kindness? I was working through them as reminders that my love often reaches you through willing hearts. I know there were seasons when people left your life. Some departures were painful. Others happened without explanation. You questioned why relationships changed and why certain people could not continue the journey with you. My beloved child, not every person is meant to walk beside you forever. Some were sent for a season to teach you, encourage you, or prepare you for what was ahead. When their purpose was complete, I continued leading you forward. Though people may come and go, my presence never departs. I remain the constant companion through every changing season. When you feel isolated, I invite you to become still and remember who walks with you. I am the one who knows every thought before you speak it. I understand the questions you have not voiced aloud. I see the tears you wipe away before anyone notices. There is no part of your heart hidden from me. Because I know you completely, I also love you completely. You never need to pretend in my presence. You never need to hide your weakness, your uncertainty, or your fears. Bring them all to me, for I delight in meeting you with compassion instead of condemnation. Sometimes I allow quiet seasons because they create space for you to hear my voice more clearly. The world is often filled with constant noise, endless opinions, and countless distractions. In the stillness, your heart begins to recognize my gentle guidance again. I do not use silence to distance myself from you. I use it to draw you closer. It is often in the quiet places that my greatest assurances are whispered into your soul. I also want you to remember that you are part of something much greater than yourself. Every act of love you offer, every prayer you speak, every kindness you show, and every word of encouragement you give becomes part of my work in the lives of others. Even when you feel alone, I am weaving your life together with countless others in ways you cannot yet understand. Your journey matters not only because of what it does for you, but because of how it will one day strengthen someone else who needs hope. Do not let loneliness convince you that your life lacks purpose. Isolation often tries to whisper lies that my truth has already defeated. It says that no one understands you, yet I understand you perfectly. It says that no one cares, yet my love surrounds you continually. It says that your future is uncertain, yet I have already prepared every step ahead. When those thoughts arise, answer them by remembering my promises instead of your fears. My truth is stronger than every lie loneliness has ever spoken. My beloved child, wherever you go, I go with you. When you celebrate, I rejoice with you. When you grieve, I remain beside you with tender compassion. When you grow weary, I become your strength. When you lose your way, I gently guide you back to the path I have prepared. There is no place so distant that my presence cannot reach you. There is no darkness so deep that my light cannot find you. There is no burden so heavy that my hands cannot help carry it. So lift your head and walk forward with renewed confidence. Do not measure your journey by how many people stand beside you. Measure it by the faithfulness of the one who has never left you. I have been your constant companion through every chapter, and I will remain with you through every chapter still to come. My beloved child, you are not walking alone. You never have been, and you never will be. As long as my hand is holding yours, you will always have the strength, the guidance, and the love you need to continue the journey before you. My beloved child, I know there was a time when trusting came naturally to you. You believed that people would keep their promises, that every prayer would be answered in the way you expected, and that life would unfold according to the dreams you carried in your heart. But as the years passed, disappointment knocked on your door. Promises were broken. Opportunities slipped away. Circumstances unfolded differently than you had hoped. Little by little, your heart became more cautious. You did not stop believing completely, but you began protecting yourself from the possibility of being hurt again. Today I want you to know that I have been gently teaching you to trust again, not merely to trust people or circumstances, but to trust me more deeply than ever before. Trust is not built in moments when everything makes sense. It is formed when you choose to believe my heart even when you cannot yet understand my ways. If every answer arrived immediately, trust would never have the chance to grow. If every path were clearly visible, faith would never learn to take a single courageous step into the unknown. The journey you have walked has not been designed to confuse you. It has been designed to draw you into a relationship where your confidence rests in my character rather than in changing circumstances. Think about a child learning to cross a rushing stream by holding a loving father's hand. The child may still hear the sound of the water. The current may still seem strong. The rocks beneath the surface may still appear uncertain. But the child's confidence is not placed in the river. It is placed in the Father's steady grip. My beloved child, life will continue to present uncertainties, but your peace does not depend on the river becoming calm. Your peace grows as you remember whose hand is holding yours. I know there were moments when you struggled to understand why I allowed certain things to happen. You asked questions that seemed to echo without immediate answers. You wondered why some prayers required waiting while others seemed to change in an instant. I never rejected those questions. I welcomed them because they came from a heart seeking me. Yet I also knew that complete understanding was not what your soul needed most. What your heart truly needed was the assurance that even when answers were delayed, my love remained constant. Sometimes you believed that because one person disappointed you, everyone would eventually do the same. Sometimes you assumed that because one dream ended differently than expected, every future dream would end in disappointment as well. Pain as a way of making broad conclusions from individual experiences. But my beloved child, I am not defined by the failures of human beings. My faithfulness has never depended upon the reliability of people. I remain the same yesterday, today, and always. When others could not carry you, I carried you. When others misunderstood you, I understood you completely. When others walked away, I remained beside you without hesitation. I have also been healing the places where fear quietly disguised itself as wisdom. You convinced yourself that expecting less would protect you from future pain. You thought keeping your heart guarded at all times would prevent disappointment. But walls built from fear do not only keep pain outside, they also prevent love, joy, and hope from entering freely. I am not asking you to become careless with your heart. I am teaching you to place your heart into my hands, where it can remain both protected and open. Trust grows one step at a time. It is strengthened each time you choose my promises over your fears. It grows when you pray even before seeing the answer. It deepens when you forgive even while the memory still hurts. It becomes stronger when you continue walking after experiencing disappointment. Every act of obedience, however small it may seem, becomes another stone in the strong foundation I am building beneath your life. Do not become discouraged if trust feels like a slow journey. Healing hearts do not rush, and neither do I. I know exactly how much your heart has endured. I know the disappointments that made you cautious. I know the moments when hope felt dangerous because you feared losing it again. I have never expected you to erase those experiences overnight. Instead, I have patiently walked beside you, proving my faithfulness one day at a time. Every sunrise hath been another reminder that my mercy is new. Every answered prayer, every unexpected provision, every quiet moment of peace hath been another invitation to trust me a little more. As you continue walking with me, you will begin to notice that fear no longer has the final word. You will discover yourself praying with greater confidence. You will recognize yourself dreaming again without being controlled by anxiety. You will see that your heart is becoming more willing to love, to hope, and to believe because my love has become the safest place you know. This transformation is not happening because life has become perfect. It is happening because your confidence is no longer rooted in perfect circumstances. It is rooted in my perfect faithfulness. My beloved child, never forget that I have never broken a promise spoken over your life. There may have been promises whose fulfillment required longer seasons than you expected, but my timing has always been filled with wisdom. What I begin, I complete. What I speak, I accomplish. What I prepare, no one can take away. Trust me not because every answer has already appeared, but because my character has remained unchanged through every season you have already lived. So release the fear that tells you your heart must remain closed forever. Allow my love to restore the confidence that disappointment once tried to steal. Let every step forward become an act of trust. Let every prayer become a declaration that you still believe in my goodness. My beloved child, I am teaching you to trust again, not by removing every uncertainty from your path, but by showing you that my presence is more dependable than any certainty this world could ever offer. Walk with me, hold tightly to my hand, and you will discover that the safest place your heart can ever rest has always been with me. My beloved child, I know there have been times when you looked at where you are today and wondered if your efforts truly mattered. You have compared your small steps to what seemed like the great achievements of others. You have questioned whether the quiet work you have been doing could ever lead to something significant. There were moments when you almost overlooked the blessings in front of you because they appeared too small to become the answer you had been praying for. But today I want to change the way you see these moments. Never underestimate what I can accomplish through small beginnings, because I delight in growing what seems insignificant into something that reflects my glory. The world often celebrates what is immediate, impressive, and visible. It measures success by numbers, recognition, and applause. But my kingdom has always grown differently. I often begin with a single seed, a single act of obedience, a single prayer, a single step of faith. Others may overlook these beginnings because they appear ordinary, but I see the extraordinary potential hidden within them. I do not despise small beginnings because I already see the harvest they will produce. Think about a tiny seed resting quietly beneath the soil. To anyone passing by, it appears as though nothing is happening. The ground looks unchanged. There is no visible evidence of growth. Yet beneath the surface, life is already awakening. Roots are reaching downward before the stem ever reaches upward. The unseen work comes first because what is hidden will eventually support everything that becomes visible. My beloved child, much of what I have been doing in your life has been like those hidden roots. Others may not notice it yet, and perhaps even you have questioned whether anything is changing. But I assure you, growth is already taking place. Do not become discouraged because your progress seems slower than you expected. So growth is not failed growth. There are trees that grow rapidly but remain weak when storms arrive. Then there are trees that develop patiently over many years, becoming strong enough to stand through generations of changing seasons. I am far more concerned with the strength of what I build in your life than with the speed at which it appears. Lasting fruit grows from deep roots, and deep roots require time. There were seasons when you felt unnoticed because your acts of faithfulness were seen by very few people. You continued praying even when answers had not yet appeared. You chose kindness when it would have been easier to respond with bitterness. You remained honest when compromise seemed more rewarding. You served quietly without seeking recognition. My beloved child, none of those moments escaped my attention. The world may overlook hidden faithfulness, but I never do. Every small act of obedience is precious to me because it reveals a heart that trusts me even without immediate reward. Sometimes you ask me for great opportunities while overlooking the small responsibilities already placed in your hands. Yet those smaller responsibilities are often preparing you for greater ones. Faithfulness in little things develops the character needed to carry greater blessings with humility. If I entrusted you with everything at once, it might overwhelm you instead of blessing you. Out of my love, I prepare you gradually. Every lesson you learn today becomes part of the foundation for tomorrow. I also want you to understand that what appears small to you may become life-changing for someone else. A kind word spoken at the right moment can restore hope to a weary heart. A simple prayer offered in faith can strengthen someone carrying hidden burdens. A quiet act of generosity can remind another person that they are seen and loved. Never believe that only grand gestures matter. Love often changes lives through ordinary moments filled with extraordinary compassion. Do not compare the size of your beginning to the size of someone else's harvest. Every life unfolds according to the purpose I have designed. Some seeds grow quickly. Others require longer seasons beneath the soil. Comparison steals joy because it focuses on another person's timeline instead of trusting mine. I know exactly what I planted within you. I know when it will blossom. I know how it will bless others. Rest in the confidence that my timing is always perfect. There will be days when you are tempted to stop because the results seem too small. In those moments, remember that perseverance is often the bridge between planting and harvesting. Farmers do not abandon their fields simply because fruit does not appear immediately. They continue watering, nurturing, and trusting the process because they understand that growth takes place long before it can be seen. I ask you to approach your own journey with that same quiet confidence. Continue walking faithfully. Continue serving joyfully. Continue trusting my promises even when visible results seem delayed. As you remain faithful, you will begin to notice something beautiful. The habits you form through small daily acts of obedience will become the strength that carries you through greater opportunities. The prayers you whispered in private will shape the courage you display in public. The patience you learned in hidden seasons will become wisdom that blesses others. One day, people may look at the fruit of your life and admire what they can see. But you will remember the countless unseen moments when I was quietly growing something beautiful beneath the surface. My beloved child, never underestimate the value of today's small beginning. Every faithful decision, every act of love, every prayer, every step of obedience is becoming part of a future greater than you can presently imagine. I am the God who multiplies what is placed into my hands. I take what seems ordinary and fill it with extraordinary purpose. I transform humble beginnings into lasting testimonies of my goodness. So keep planting seeds of faith. Keep choosing kindness. Keep walking in obedience even when no one is applauding your progress. Keep believing that the quiet work I am doing today will one day become visible in ways that leave you filled with gratitude. Small beginnings are never small when they are guided by my hand. They are the first chapters of miracles still unfolding, and the future I am preparing through your faithful steps will reveal that every moment of trust was worth far more than you ever realized. My beloved child, I know there were days when the storm around you felt stronger than the hope within you. The winds of uncertainty seemed relentless. Waves of disappointment rose higher than you expected. Questions filled your mind, and answers appeared far away. There were moments when you wondered if the storm would ever end or if this season of hardship would become the permanent landscape of your life. But today I want you to hear my voice rising above every fearful thought. The storm is losing its power. It may still seem present, but it no longer has the authority to determine your future because I have been working within you in ways the storm could never touch. When a storm first arrives, it demands your attention. Its noise is loud. Its force is intimidating. It tries to convince you that it is the only reality. Yet every storm, no matter how fierce, has limits that I have already established. The wind cannot blow forever. The rain cannot fall endlessly. Even the darkest clouds eventually give way to the light. In the same way, the trials you have faced have never possessed unlimited power. They have existed only within the boundaries I have allowed, and even while they raged around you, my hand remained firmly upon your life. You often believed the storm was only taking from you. It took your comfort, your certainty, and sometimes even your confidence. But there is something it could never take. It could never remove my presence from your life. While the storm tried to shake your circumstances, I was strengthening your foundation. While fear attempted to overwhelm your thoughts, I was teaching your heart to rest in my promises. While everything around you appeared uncertain, I remained the unchanging rock beneath your feet. Think of a lighthouse standing on a rugged coastline. Year after year, waves crash against it. Fierce winds surround it. Powerful storms strike its walls. Yet it continues shining because its foundation reaches deep into solid ground. The storms do not determine whether the light shines. The strength of the foundation does. My beloved child, I have been building that kind of foundation within you. Your peace is no longer meant to depend upon calm circumstances. It is meant to rest upon my faithful presence. The stronger your trust in me becomes, the less power the storm has over your heart. There were nights when you thought you were barely surviving, yet you woke the next morning with enough strength to take another step. There were moments when you believed hope had almost disappeared, yet somehow a quiet whisper inside you encouraged you to keep going. That whisper was my voice. It reminded you that the storm was never writing the final chapter of your story. I have always been the author of your life, and I have never surrendered the pen to fear, disappointment, or despair. Do not measure the storm by its noise. Measure it by my faithfulness. The storm has spoken loudly, but I have spoken consistently. The storm has tried to frighten you, but I have continued comforting you. The storm has tried to convince you that you were alone, but I have remained beside you every moment. Its voice grows weaker every time you remember my promises. Its influence fades every time you choose faith instead of fear. Its power diminishes every time you place another burden into my hands. I also want you to understand that not every storm arrives to destroy. Some storms clear away what no longer belongs in your life. They reveal weaknesses that need strengthening. They expose foundations built upon fear instead of trust. They remove distractions that kept your eyes from focusing on me. While you would never have chosen these difficult seasons, I have used them to prepare you for blessings that require a stronger heart and deeper faith. Nothing you have endured hath been meaningless, because I have woven purpose into every challenge. As the storm loses its power, you may notice something changing within yourself. Situations that once filled you with panic no longer control your emotions as they once did. You recover more quickly after disappointment. You find yourself praying before worrying. You discover peace appearing where anxiety once ruled. These changes are not signs that the storm has become smaller. They are signs that your faith has become stronger. The storm has not been shaping your identity. I have. There will still be moments when dark clouds gather again. Life in this world will always include seasons of uncertainty. But you no longer need to fear every approaching storm, because you now know the one who commands the wind and the waves. You know the one whose voice brings calm even before circumstances change. You know the one who walks beside you through every valley and never abandons his children. That knowledge becomes your confidence. It becomes the anchor that keeps your heart steady when everything else seems to move. My beloved child, do not lose heart simply because a few clouds still remain on the horizon. A storm does not end all at once. Sometimes the winds grow quieter little by little. The rain becomes lighter. The sky slowly begins to brighten. In the same way, the healing, restoration, and breakthrough I have been preparing are already drawing near. You may not yet see the full sunlight, but dawn has already begun. Hope is no longer a distant dream. It is becoming your present reality, because I am leading you into a new season. So keep your eyes on me instead of the storm. Let my promises become louder than your fears. Let my peace settle deeply into your soul. Every step you take in faith weakens the hold that discouragement once had over your life. Every prayer you offer strengthens your confidence in my love. Every moment of trust reminds your heart that I have never failed you. My beloved child, the storm is losing its power because my purpose for your life is greater than any trial you have faced. The winds may have tested you, but they could not break you. The rain may have soaked your path, but it could not wash away my promises. I have carried you through every season, and I will continue carrying you until you stand in the fullness of everything I have prepared for you. The skies ahead are brighter than the clouds behind you, and the peace that awaits you will reveal that my faithful hand was guiding you through the storm all along. My beloved child, one of the greatest burdens you have carried has been the uncertainty of tomorrow. You have wondered what the next chapter of your life will hold. You have asked yourself whether the decisions before you will lead to peace or disappointment. You have looked toward the future and sometimes seen only questions without answers. I understand those feelings because I know the limits of human vision. You can only see the step you are standing on, but I see the entire journey from beginning to end. That is why I want you to rest in this truth today. I have already gone before you. There is not a single moment waiting in your future that is unknown to me. Before you wake each morning, I already know every conversation you will have, every challenge you will face, every opportunity that will appear, and every blessing I have prepared for you. Nothing surprises me. Nothing catches me unprepared. The future that feels uncertain to you has always been completely visible to me. Because I know what lies ahead, I am able to guide you with perfect wisdom, even when you cannot yet understand the reason for every step I ask you to take. Think about a shepherd walking through unfamiliar hills before leading the flock along the same path. He searches for safe ground, finds fresh water, and identifies dangers that the sheep cannot see. By the time the flock begins its journey, the shepherd has already prepared the way before them. My beloved child, this is how I care for you. I never ask you to walk into a place where my presence has not already gone. Before you arrive at tomorrow, my love is already there waiting for you. This is why you do not need to be controlled by fear. Fear always asks, what if something goes wrong? But faith gently answers, my Father is already there. Fear imagines a future without my presence. Faith remembers that there has never been a place where my love could not reach you. Every time fear paints a picture of uncertainty, remember that I have already stepped into that future with you. I know the way through every valley. I know where every hidden blessing is waiting. I know how every difficult chapter will eventually become part of a greater story. There have been times when I asked you to change direction without explaining every reason. Those moments tested your trust because you wanted complete understanding before taking the next step. But if I revealed every detail at once, you might begin relying on your own understanding instead of remaining close to me. My guidance is not meant merely to show you the destination. It is meant to deepen our relationship as we walk together. Every step of trust draws your heart closer to mine. Do you remember the seasons when you believed there was no way forward? You stood before situations that seemed impossible to overcome. Yet somehow a path appeared that you had never imagined. A solution arrived. A new opportunity emerged. Strength came at exactly the right moment. Those experiences were not coincidences. They were reminders that I had already prepared the road before you reached it. What seemed impossible from your perspective had already been resolved within my perfect plan. I also want you to understand that preparing the way does not always mean removing every obstacle. Sometimes I leave certain challenges along the path because they become places where your faith grows stronger. A mountain may remain, but I prepare the strength you need to climb it. A river may still need to be crossed, but I provide the courage and wisdom required to cross safely. I do not promise a journey without effort. I promise a journey where you will never face that effort alone. My beloved child, there are blessings already waiting for you that have not yet entered your view. There are people I have appointed to encourage you. There are conversations that will open doors you never expected. There are moments of joy that will make you smile after seasons of tears. There are answers to prayers that are already moving toward you according to my perfect timing. Even now, while you are listening to my voice, I am arranging circumstances in ways that only eternity can fully reveal. Do not become impatient simply because you cannot yet see what I have prepared. A traveler walking around the bend of a mountain path cannot see the beautiful valley waiting just beyond the turn. Yet the valley exists whether the traveler sees it or not. In the same way, my promises remain true even before they become visible. Your inability to see them does not diminish their reality. Continue walking faithfully, and in the right moment, what was once hidden will come into view. As you move into the days ahead, I ask you to release the need to control every outcome. You were never created to carry that burden. Place your future into my hands, where it has always belonged. Trust that my wisdom is greater than your understanding. Trust that my love is deeper than your fears. Trust that my timing is more perfect than your own plans. Every step you surrender to me becomes a step filled with peace because it rests upon my unfailing guidance. When you wake tomorrow, remember that I am already there. When you face a decision, remember that I have already seen its outcome. When uncertainty whispers to your heart, remember that my presence has gone before you. Let this truth become the anchor of your soul. You do not walk toward an unknown future by yourself. You walk toward a future lovingly prepared by the one who created you, knows you completely, and delights in leading you with tenderness. My beloved child, I have already gone before you. I am preparing places you have not yet entered, opening doors you have not yet reached, and making straight paths where you currently see only uncertainty. Continue walking without fear. Continue trusting without hesitation. Continue believing even when your eyes cannot yet see. The road ahead has already been touched by my hands, filled with my purpose, and surrounded by my love. Wherever you go next, you will discover that I was already waiting there, ready to welcome you into the beautiful future I have prepared just for you. My beloved child, I know there are things you still think about when the world around you grows quiet. There are dreams that once filled your heart with excitement but now seem like distant memories. There are relationships you hoped would last, opportunities you believed would never slip away, and seasons of your life that you sometimes wish you could relive. There are moments when you quietly ask yourself, what if I had chosen differently? What if I had not lost what meant so much to me? I have heard every one of those questions, and today I want to answer your heart with a truth that carries hope. What you thought was lost is not beyond my reach. You often believe that once something leaves your hands, it is gone forever. But my beloved child, your hands are not the final measure of what can be restored. My power is not limited by what time has taken, by what people have broken, or by what circumstances have changed. I am able to bring beauty from ashes, hope from sorrow, and new life from places that seem empty. My work is not confined to what appears possible through human understanding. I specialize in restoring what seemed beyond recovery. There are losses that I will restore in ways you never expected. There are other losses that I will not replace with the same thing because I have something even greater prepared. I want you to understand this difference. Restoration does not always mean returning you to yesterday. Often it means leading you into a tomorrow that fulfills the deepest purpose hidden within yesterday's pain. You may long for the return of what once was, while I am preparing something that carries even greater joy, deeper peace, and lasting purpose. Think about a forest after a devastating fire. At first glance, everything appears ruined. The ground is dark. The trees stand silent. It seems impossible that life could ever return. Yet beneath the surface, seeds that required the fire to awaken begin to grow. In time, New life emerges where destruction once seemed final. My beloved child, some of the hardest seasons you have endured have awakened strengths, wisdom, and compassion that could not have grown in any other way. What looked like the end became the beginning of something you could not yet see. Perhaps you have lost confidence in yourself because of past mistakes. You replay old decisions and wonder if they permanently altered your future. But hear me clearly. Your mistakes are not stronger than my mercy. They are not greater than my wisdom. When you place your life into my hands with a willing heart, I redeem what seemed wasted. I teach through failure. I strengthen through weakness. I transform regret into wisdom that becomes a blessing for the future. Do not allow your past to convince you that your purpose has disappeared. I have never stopped calling you forward. Maybe what you mourn is not a dream but a version of yourself. You remember the joy you once carried, the confidence you once felt, or the peace that seemed easier to find. You wonder whether those parts of your heart have been lost forever. My beloved child, they have not been destroyed. They have simply been waiting for my healing touch. I am restoring your joy, not as a fragile emotion dependent upon circumstances, but as a deep confidence rooted in my presence. I am rebuilding your peace, not because life will never challenge you again, but because your heart is learning to remain anchored in me regardless of what surrounds you. There are also prayers you stopped praying because disappointment persuaded you they would never be answered. You quietly placed those hopes aside, believing it was safer not to expect anything anymore. Yet I have not forgotten the desires that I planted within your heart. Some are still waiting for the perfect moment. Others are being fulfilled in ways you have not yet recognized. Do not assume that silence means abandonment. Sometimes my greatest answers unfold so gradually that they become visible only when you look back and see how faithfully I have been leading you all along. I ask you today to loosen your grip on what you believe must be restored in exactly the way you imagine. Trust that my wisdom reaches beyond your expectations. If I return something to you, it will come with my blessing. If I lead you toward something new, it will carry my purpose. Either way, you lose nothing by placing your trust in me. My plans are never designed to leave your heart empty. They are designed to fill it with a deeper fullness than you could have created on your own. Do not spend your days mourning what my hands are already transforming. Lift your eyes from the ground of yesterday and begin looking toward the horizon I am preparing before you. Every sunrise reminds you that darkness does not have the final word. Every new season reminds you that endings often become the beginning of fresh life. In the same way, the losses you have endured are not the conclusion of your story. They are chapters that I am redeeming with tenderness, wisdom, and unfailing love. My beloved child, I have always been the God of restoration. I restore hope to weary hearts. I restore peace to troubled minds. I restore purpose to those who believe they have wandered too far. I restore courage to those who have grown afraid. And when I restore, I do so with a love that reaches deeper than every wound and a wisdom that sees beyond every disappointment. So bring to me the dreams you thought had died. Bring to me the regrets that still burden your heart. Bring to me the relationships, opportunities, and hopes that seem forever lost. Place them into my hands without fear. I know what should be returned, what should be transformed, and what should be lovingly replaced with something greater. Nothing that truly belongs within my purpose for your life is beyond my reach. Trust me with every loss, and in time you will discover that my restoration is more beautiful than anything you imagined. What you thought was gone forever has never been beyond the reach of my faithful and loving hands. My beloved child, every day you are surrounded by countless voices competing for your attention. Some speak through fear. Some speak through disappointment. Others speak through comparison, doubt, with the endless pressure to become someone you were never created to be. If you listen to every voice, your heart will become weary and your mind will grow restless. That is why I gently call you back to the place where peace is always found. Keep your eyes on me. When your attention remains fixed upon my presence, the noise around you begins to lose its power, and your heart remembers where true security has always been. There have been moments when you allowed your focus to drift toward the size of your problems instead of the greatness of my love. You measured the height of the mountain, but forgot the strength of the one who created it. You counted the waves, but forgot the one who commands the sea. You examined every obstacle before you while overlooking the faithful hands that have carried you through every obstacle behind you. I do not remind you of these things to bring guilt into your heart. I remind you because I want to restore your confidence. Your peace was never meant to depend upon the absence of challenges. It was always meant to rest in my unchanging presence. Imagine a traveler walking through a dense forest. If the traveler stares only at the shadows between the trees, every sound becomes frightening. Every branch appears threatening. Every unfamiliar path creates uncertainty. But when the traveler lifts their eyes and follows the guide who knows the forest completely, fear begins to fade. The guide has already walked those paths. He knows where danger exists and where safety is found. My beloved child, I am that faithful guide. The path ahead may still contain questions, but you do not walk it alone. Keep your eyes on me, and I will lead you one faithful step at a time. Distraction has always been one of the greatest tools used against a peaceful heart. It persuades you to focus on what you cannot control instead of trusting the one who controls what you cannot see. It invites you to compare your journey with someone else's, causing you to overlook the beautiful work I am accomplishing in your own life. It encourages you to dwell on yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's uncertainties until you lose the joy I have placed before you today. But I have not called you to live divided between fear and faith. I have called you to live with a heart centered upon me. There will always be circumstances that try to steal your attention. Some will arrive suddenly, while others will quietly grow over time. Financial concerns, unexpected changes, unanswered prayers, difficult relationships, and moments of uncertainty may all seek to pull your focus away from my promises. Yet none of these things have the authority to separate you from my love. They may demand your attention, but they do not deserve your trust. Place your trust where it has always belonged, in my faithful heart. Do you remember how many times I have already brought you through situations that once seemed impossible? There were seasons when you believed there was no way forward, yet I opened a path. There were burdens you thought would remain forever, yet I gradually lifted them from your shoulders. There were tears you believed would never end, yet I gently replaced them with hope. If I have been faithful before, will I not continue to be faithful now? Let your memories of my goodness strengthen your confidence for the days ahead. My beloved child, keeping your eyes on me does not mean pretending difficulties do not exist. It means refusing to allow those difficulties to become greater in your mind than my power. It means bringing every concern to me instead of carrying it alone. It means choosing prayer before panic, trust before worry, and hope before despair. Every time you shift your attention from fear to my promises, your soul becomes steadier. Every time you remember my faithfulness, your courage grows stronger. I also want you to keep your eyes on the quiet ways I am moving in your life. Not every miracle arrives with dramatic signs. Sometimes my greatest work happens through gentle transformation. A fearful heart becomes peaceful. A wounded spirit learns to forgive. An anxious mind discovers rest. A discouraged soul begins to hope again. These changes may appear small to the world, but they are precious in my sight because they reveal that my love is shaping you from within. As you continue walking with me, there will be moments when you cannot clearly see the entire road ahead. In those moments, do not become discouraged. You do not need to see the whole journey to take the next faithful step. I have never asked you to carry tomorrow's map. I have only asked you to trust today's guidance. I will reveal what you need when you need it. My wisdom is never late, and my direction is never uncertain. The more you fix your eyes upon me, the less power fear will have to influence your decisions. The more you meditate on my promises, the quieter the voices of doubt will become. The more you remember my faithfulness, the more confidently you will walk through every season. Your circumstances may continue to change, but I remain the same. My love does not weaken. My promises do not fade. My presence does not depart. So, my beloved child, whenever your heart begins to feel overwhelmed, pause and turn your attention back to me. Let my voice become louder than your worries. Let my truth become stronger than your fears. Let my peace settle deeply into every anxious corner of your soul. Keep your eyes on me, and you will discover that even when the path is unfamiliar, your heart can remain secure because it is anchored in the one who has never failed you. Continue walking forward with quiet confidence. I am leading you with wisdom that never errs, love that never ends, and faithfulness that never changes. As long as your eyes remain fixed upon me, you will never walk without hope, because I will always be the light that guides your path and the steady hand that leads you safely home. My beloved child, there are times when you wonder whether your faith is truly growing. You compare yourself to where you hoped you would be, and you notice the moments when doubt still visits your mind or when questions still rise within your heart. You may even wonder if your struggles are signs that your faith is weak. But I want you to hear me clearly today. Your faith is growing even now, often in ways you cannot yet recognize. Growth is not always loud. It is not always dramatic. Much of the deepest work I accomplish happens quietly, beneath the surface, where only I can fully see it. When a seed is planted in the earth, it does not immediately break through the soil. For a time, all of its growth is hidden. Roots begin to stretch downward long before leaves reach toward the sky. Anyone looking from above might assume that nothing is happening, yet the most important part of the process has already begun. My beloved child, your faith has been growing in much the same way. While you have been waiting for visible signs of change, I have been strengthening your roots. I have been building a trust within you that will remain steady through every season, not just during moments of blessing. There was a time when even a small disappointment could shake your confidence. You questioned whether I was still with you whenever life became difficult. But look carefully at where you are today. Challenges still come, yet you continue to seek me. Questions still arise, yet you continue to pray. The road is not always easy, yet you continue to walk beside me. That is evidence of growth. Faith is not the absence of questions. Faith is choosing to remain close to me even while seeking the answers. Do not believe the lie that faith must always feel strong to be genuine. There were days when your heart trembled with uncertainty, yet you still whispered my name. There were nights when tears filled your eyes, yet you still trusted me enough to place your burdens into my hands. Those quiet moments were not signs of failure. They were beautiful expressions of faith. A trembling hand reaching toward me is still reaching toward me, and I receive it with tenderness every time. Think about a child learning to trust a loving father. At first, the child asks many questions. Every unfamiliar step brings uncertainty. But as the years pass, trust grows because the child remembers the father's faithfulness. In the same way, every season you have already lived through is teaching your heart something precious. You remember how I provided when you thought there would not be enough. You remember how I comforted you when grief seemed overwhelming. You remember how I opened doors after long seasons of waiting. These memories are becoming the foundation upon which greater faith is being built. My beloved child, I sometimes allow you to walk through situations where your own strength is no longer enough because those moments teach you to depend more fully upon mine. Human strength has limits, but my strength does not. When you finally reach the end of your own ability, you discover that my grace continues without interruption. This is why some of your greatest spiritual growth has taken place during your hardest seasons. Difficulty did not separate you from me. It drew you closer. Do not measure your faith by comparing it with someone else's journey. Every heart grows according to the purpose I have designed. Some lessons require longer seasons because they are preparing you for greater responsibilities. Some victories arrive quietly because they begin within your character before they appear in your circumstances. I know exactly what your soul needs, and I faithfully provide it day by day. Trust my process instead of comparing your progress. I also want you to understand that faith grows through obedience. Every time you choose forgiveness instead of bitterness, your faith grows. Every time you choose peace instead of panic, your faith grows. Every time you continue praying before seeing the answer, your faith grows. Every time you take one faithful step without knowing the entire path, your faith grows. These decisions may seem small, but together they become a life rooted deeply in my promises. There will still be moments when doubt knocks at the door of your heart. Do not be discouraged by that. Doubt may visit, but it does not have to remain. Bring every uncertainty to me. I am never offended by honest questions offered with a sincere heart. I delight in meeting you where you are and gently leading you toward greater understanding. My love is patient, and my guidance is constant. I do not expect perfection from you. I ask only that you continue walking with me. As your faith matures, you will notice that your perspective begins to change. Problems that once seemed overwhelming no longer appear impossible because you have seen my faithfulness too many times to believe that I will abandon you now. Waiting becomes less frightening because you have learned that my timing is always good. Uncertainty becomes less intimidating because you know that my presence goes before you. This quiet confidence is one of the beautiful fruits of growing faith. My beloved child, never underestimate what I am accomplishing within you today. Every prayer, every act of obedience, every moment of trust, and every step of perseverance is shaping a faith that will carry you through the days ahead. I am preparing you not only to receive my blessings, but also to remain steadfast through every season of life. The roots I am growing within your heart will hold firm when strong winds come, and they will also support the beautiful fruit I am preparing to bring forth. So continue walking with me. Continue trusting my promises, even when your eyes cannot yet see their fulfillment. Continue believing that I am working, even in the quiet seasons. Your faith is not standing still. It is growing every day, strengthened by my love, sustained by my grace, and anchored in my unchanging truth. And as it continues to grow, you will discover that the greatest miracle is not only what I will do around you, but also what I am faithfully doing within you. My beloved child, there are moments when you look around and wonder if all the opportunities meant for your life have already passed you by. You see doors that once closed, paths that unexpectedly ended, and dreams that seemed to fade with time. The enemy would like you to believe that because one season has ended, your greatest possibilities ended with it. But I tell you with love and certainty that this is not the end of your story. I am creating new opportunities for you even now. While you have been looking at what has passed, I have been preparing what is coming. Do not believe that my creativity is limited by what you have lost. I am not dependent upon one relationship, one career, one location, one decision, or one chapter of your life to fulfill my purpose. I am the Creator, and I have endless ways of accomplishing what I have spoken over your life. When one road comes to an end, I am fully able to prepare another. When one opportunity disappears, I already know where the next one will emerge. My plans are never trapped by human limitations because my wisdom reaches beyond every circumstance. Think about a river flowing through a landscape. If a large stone blocks one part of its path, the river does not stop existing. It continues moving, finding another way forward. It may carve a new channel, flow around the obstacle, or gradually reshape the land itself. In the same way, my beloved child, my purpose for your life cannot be permanently stopped by temporary obstacles. What seems like an impossible barrier to you is simply another place where my wisdom will create a way. There were opportunities you mourned because they meant so much to you. You invested your prayers, your energy, and your hopes into them. When they slipped away, it felt as though a part of your future had disappeared. I understand that sorrow because I walked beside you through every moment of it. But I also knew something your heart could not yet see. Those opportunities were not the only means by which I intended to bless your life. They were chapters, not the entire story. My ability to provide has never depended upon a single door remaining open. Sometimes I close a door because the opportunity itself has reached the end of its purpose. Other times I allow it to close because it cannot carry the weight of the future I have prepared for you. I know what each season can hold, and I know when it is time to move you into something new. Do not confuse an ending with abandonment. Often the very ending that brings tears today becomes the beginning that brings gratitude tomorrow. My beloved child, I have also been preparing you for these new opportunities. It is not only your circumstances that have been changing. Your heart hath been changing as well. You have become more patient than you once were. You have grown in wisdom through experiences that once brought pain. You have learned to listen more carefully, to love more deeply, and to trust me more completely. These qualities are not accidental. They are the very things that will allow you to step into the opportunities ahead with humility and confidence. I ask you to remain open to the unexpected. Sometimes my greatest blessings arrive wearing unfamiliar clothing. You may expect me to answer your prayer through one particular path, while I have already prepared another that is far more beautiful. If you insist on looking only in one direction, you may miss the new thing I am quietly placing before you. Lift your eyes beyond your expectations and trust that my imagination is greater than your own. Do not allow disappointment to close your heart. A heart that remains open to me will always remain open to hope. If past experiences have taught you to expect failure, let my promises teach you to expect my faithfulness instead. I am not asking you to ignore what has happened. I am asking you not to let yesterday's disappointments determine tomorrow's possibilities. Every sunrise is a reminder that I continue creating new beginnings. Let your heart awaken with the same expectation. There are people you have not yet met who will become part of your journey. There are conversations waiting that will bring unexpected encouragement. There are moments of clarity approaching that will answer questions you have carried for years. There are assignments prepared specifically for your gifts, your experiences, and your unique calling. None of these things have been delayed because I forgot you. They are unfolding according to the perfect rhythm of my wisdom. While you wait, continue to be faithful with what is already in your hands. The opportunities I create often grow out of the faithfulness you demonstrate in ordinary moments. Continue serving with love. Continue speaking with kindness. Continue praying with expectation. Continue walking in integrity when no one is watching. These quiet acts of obedience prepare your heart to recognize my voice when the new opportunities appear. My beloved child, refuse to believe that your best days belong only to the past. I am not finished writing your story. The pages ahead are filled with purpose, growth, joy, and moments that will remind you once again of my faithfulness. There are blessings still waiting to unfold, dreams waiting to awaken, and doors waiting to open at exactly the right time. Do not lose heart simply because you cannot yet see them. Walk forward with confidence. Expect my guidance. Trust my timing. Welcome the unexpected with a peaceful heart because I am leading you into places you could never have reached on your own. I am creating new opportunities that perfectly match the person you have become through every season we have walked together. And when those opportunities arrive, you will recognize that every delay, every detour, and every closed door was preparing you for something far greater than you imagined. My beloved child, the future before you is not empty. It is already alive with possibilities that my loving hands have carefully prepared, and I will reveal them one faithful step at a time. My beloved child, the world around you is constantly changing. Circumstances shift without warning. Plans are interrupted. News brings uncertainty. People change. Opportunities come and go, and tomorrow often seems impossible to predict. In the middle of all this, it is easy for your heart to become restless. You may find yourself searching for peace in situations that cannot promise it. You may hope that if everything finally falls into place, then your heart will be calm. But I want to reveal something deeper to you today. The peace I give you does not depend on everything around you becoming perfect. My peace comes from my presence, and my presence has never left you. There have been moments when you believed that peace would arrive only after every problem was solved. You told yourself, when this burden is gone, I will finally rest. When this prayer is answered, I will finally stop worrying. When this uncertainty disappears, then my heart will be quiet. Yet every time one concern faded, another seemed to appear. If your peace depends upon a world without challenges, it will always remain fragile. That is why I offer you something far greater. I offer you a peace that remains steady even while life continues to change. Think above a deep lake on a windy day. Strong winds may stir the surface, creating waves that move in every direction. Yet far below the surface, the water remains calm and undisturbed. My beloved child, this is how I desire your heart to become. Challenges may still pass through your life. Unexpected moments may still arise. But deep within your soul, my peace can remain untouched because it is rooted in my eternal presence rather than temporary circumstances. I know how easily anxious thoughts can multiply. One question leads to another. One concern becomes many. Before long, your mind begins imagining problems that have not even happened. Worry promises to prepare you for tomorrow, but instead it steals the strength I have given you for today. My beloved child, I never asked you to carry tomorrow before it arrives. I have given you grace for this day, and when tomorrow comes, I will provide fresh grace once again. Do not borrow burdens from days you have not yet lived. Whenever anxiety begins to whisper to your heart, bring those thoughts to me instead of carrying them alone. Speak honestly with me. Tell me your fears, your questions, and your concerns. I already know them, yet I delight when you place them into my hands because it reminds your heart that you were never created to carry them by yourself. Every burden surrendered becomes another opportunity for my peace to settle more deeply within you. Remember the many times I have already carried you through difficult seasons. There were circumstances you believed would overwhelm you, yet here you are. There were nights you thought would never end, yet morning came. There were prayers you feared would remain unanswered, yet my faithfulness surprised you in ways you could not have imagined. If I have sustained you through every chapter behind you, why should you believe I will fail you in the chapters still ahead? Let every memory of my faithfulness become a reason to trust me again today. My peace is not merely the absence of fear. It is the presence of confidence in my love. It is the quiet assurance that even when you do not understand what I am doing, you know the one who is leading you. It is resting in the certainty that nothing can enter your life without first passing through my loving hands. It is believing that even what seems confusing today will one day reveal my wisdom and my goodness. There are moments when I calm the storm around you. There are also moments when I calm your heart while the storm continues. Both are miracles of my grace. Never think that I am absent simply because your circumstances have not changed as quickly as you hoped. Sometimes the greatest miracle is not that the storm ends immediately, but that your heart remains steady in the middle of it. That kind of peace becomes a testimony to everyone who sees your life. My beloved child, guard your heart carefully. Be mindful of the voices you allow to shape your thoughts. Do not fill your mind with endless fear, comparison, or discouragement. Instead, fill it with my promises. Remember my faithfulness. Reflect upon my goodness. Speak words of hope over your life instead of repeating the lies that fear tries to tell you. What you consistently place before your heart will influence the peace you experience. As you continue walking with me, you will discover that peace is not something you chase. It is something you receive. It flows naturally from remaining close to me. The more time you spend in my presence, the more your heart learns to rest. The more you remember my promises, the less room anxiety has to grow. The more you trust my timing, the more confidently you move through every season. There will still be questions you cannot answer. There will still be paths you cannot fully see. But you do not need complete understanding in order to experience complete trust. I have never asked you to understand everything. I have simply invited you to walk with me. As you do, my peace will become the quiet guardian of your heart, standing watch over your thoughts, your emotions, and your spirit. So breathe deeply, my beloved child. Release the worries that have become too heavy. Lay every fear at my feet. Let every anxious thought be replaced by the assurance of my unfailing love. My peace is greater than your uncertainty, stronger than your fear, and deeper than every question you carry. I will guard your heart as you continue trusting me, and no matter what changes around you, my presence will remain your constant refuge. Rest in me, for the peace I give is a gift that this world can never take away. My beloved child, there is a transformation taking place within you that is more profound than you realize. Because you see yourself every day, the changes may seem small or even invisible. You still remember your struggles. You still notice your weaknesses. You still recognize the areas where you desire to grow. Yet I see something you often overlook. I see the steady work my love has been accomplishing in your heart. I see the person you are becoming, and soon others will begin to notice the change as well. Transformation rarely announces itself with loud words. It is often revealed through quiet moments. It is seen in the way you respond to situations that once overwhelmed you. It appears in the patience you now show where frustration once ruled. It is reflected in the peace that remains even when life becomes uncertain. My beloved child, these changes are not accidents. They are the fruit of every conversation we have shared, every lesson you have learned, every tear you have surrendered, and every step of faith you have taken with me. There was a time when disappointment could easily steal your hope. A single setback might have caused you to question everything. But now, even though challenges still come, you recover more quickly because your confidence is becoming rooted in my faithfulness instead of changing circumstances. There was a time when fear often made your decisions, but now you pause, seek my guidance, and move forward with greater trust. There was a time when unforgiveness lingered in your heart, but now you understand the freedom that comes through releasing pain into my hands. These are not small changes. They are evidence that my spirit has been quietly reshaping your life. Think about a lamp placed in a dark room. The lamp does not struggle to prove that it carries light. It simply shines, and darkness naturally retreats. In the same way, you do not need to convince people that I have been changing your heart. As you continue walking with me, the light of my love will become visible through your words, your actions, your attitude, and the peace you carry. People may not immediately understand what has changed, but they will recognize that something is different. There will be those who remember the person you used to be. They may recall the seasons when fear often controlled you, when worry filled your thoughts, or when disappointment weighed heavily upon your spirit. As they observe your life now, they will notice a quiet confidence that cannot be explained by circumstances alone. They will see kindness where they expected bitterness. They will witness patience where they once expected frustration. They will hear hope in your voice where despair once lingered. These changes will point not to your own strength, but to my faithful work within you. My beloved child, do not let pride take root when others begin to notice your growth. Always remember where your strength comes from. Every victory has been made possible by my grace. Every step forward has been sustained by my love. Every burden you overcame was carried together with me. Humility will protect your heart and keep you close to the source of your transformation. The more you remain dependent upon me, the more brightly my light will shine through your life. I also want you to understand that your transformation is not only for your own blessing. It is meant to become an invitation for others. There are people around you who quietly wonder whether lasting change is possible. They have grown weary of trying to overcome fear, guilt, regret, or hopelessness through their own strength. When they see the peace I have planted within you, they will begin to believe that the same hope is available to them. Your life will become a living testimony that I still restore hearts, renew minds, and transform lives. Do not underestimate the influence of simple faithfulness. You may think that only great achievements change the world, but I often work through ordinary acts of love. A gentle word spoken in patience can calm an anxious heart. A forgiving spirit can break the cycle of bitterness. A peaceful response during a difficult moment can inspire someone else to trust me more deeply. Every day you live in my love becomes another opportunity for others to encounter my presence through you. There may still be days when you feel as though you have not made enough progress. On those days, do not judge yourself by perfection. Measure your life by direction. Are you turning toward me more quickly than before? Are you trusting me more deeply than yesterday? Are you loving others more freely than you once did? If the answer is yes, then my work is continuing exactly as I intended. Growth is not about becoming flawless overnight. It is about allowing my grace to shape you faithfully over time. My beloved child, continue giving me every part of your heart. Do not become satisfied with yesterday's growth, for I still have beautiful things to accomplish within you. There are deeper places of peace I want you to experience. There is greater compassion I desire to awaken. There is stronger faith I am continuing to build. I am not finished with the masterpiece I have begun. As you keep walking beside me, the change within you will become impossible to ignore. Not because you seek attention, but because my love naturally shines through a heart surrendered to me. Your words will carry more gentleness. Your decisions will reflect greater wisdom. Your presence will bring comfort to those who are hurting. Your life will quietly reveal that something extraordinary has been taking place beneath the surface all along. So remain close to me, my beloved child. Let my love continue its transforming work. Let my truth shape your thoughts. Let my peace guard your heart. Let my grace strengthen your spirit. Others will notice the change, but you will know the true reason behind it. They will see the fruit, but you will remember the countless moments we shared in quiet prayer, faithful trust, patient waiting, and gentle restoration. The life they admire will simply be the visible reflection of the invisible work I have lovingly been accomplishing within you from the very beginning. My beloved child, you have come farther than you realize. Because you have lived through every step of your journey, it is easy to focus on the distance that still lies ahead instead of appreciating how much ground we have already covered together. You remember every stumble, every delay, every unanswered question, and every difficult season. Yet I also remember every time you chose to rise again. I remember every prayer you whispered when your strength was almost gone. I remember every act of faith that seemed small in your eyes but was precious in mine. That is why I say to you today, continue walking forward. Do not stop now. Do not allow discouragement to convince you that the journey hath been in vain. There will always be voices that invite you to look backward. Some will remind you of your failures. Others will tempt you to live in memories of seasons that have already passed. Regret will try to convince you that if only you had made different choices, your life would be better today. Fear will suggest that because the road ahead is uncertain, it would be safer not to move at all. But my beloved child, neither regret nor fear can lead you into the future I have prepared. Only trust can do that. Think about a traveler climbing a mountain. If the traveler stops every few steps to stare only at the path already walked, progress becomes slow and uncertain. If the traveler becomes consumed with how far the summit still seems, discouragement begins to grow. But when the traveler focuses on the next faithful step, the mountain is conquered one step at a time. This is how I ask you to live. Do not become overwhelmed by the entire journey. Walk faithfully through the step I have placed before you today. Tomorrow's step will come with tomorrow's grace. There have been moments when you believed you were standing still, yet even in those seasons I was teaching you lessons that would become essential for the future. Waiting was not wasted. Peeling was not wasted. Quiet seasons were not wasted. Even the tears you cried in my presence became part of the strength you now carry. Never believe that only visible progress has value. Some of the greatest victories happen within the heart long before they appear in your circumstances. My beloved child, there will be days when you feel tired again. The journey of faith is not without moments of weariness. On those days, remember that I have never asked you to walk alone or to depend solely upon your own strength. Come to me. Rest in my presence. Allow me to renew your spirit. Rest is not the opposite of progress. There are seasons when resting with me becomes the very thing that prepares you to continue moving forward with renewed courage. Do not let the opinions of others determine the pace of your journey. Some people may not understand the path I have chosen for you. Others may question your decisions because they cannot see what I have placed within your heart. But you were never called to follow every voice. You were called to follow mine. When you remain attentive to my guidance, you will discover that my approval is far more valuable than human recognition. Walk according to my direction, not according to the expectations of those who cannot see the purpose I have prepared for your life. As you continue moving forward, do not carry unnecessary burdens from yesterday. You have already laid many of them into my hands. Do not pick them up again. Leave behind the guilt I have forgiven, the fear I have calmed, the bitterness I have healed, and the doubts I have answered with my faithfulness. The road ahead requires freedom. It is difficult to embrace new blessings while carrying old chains. Continue releasing everything that no longer belongs to the person you are becoming. There will also be moments when the progress you make seems small. Do not despise those moments. Every faithful step matters. A river reaches the sea not through one giant leap but through countless small movements. A mighty tree grows one day at a time. A beautiful testimony is written one chapter after another. In the same way, the future I have promised you is unfolding through daily acts of trust, obedience, and perseverance. Never underestimate the power of consistency in walking with me. My beloved child, I have placed gifts within you that are still unfolding. There are conversations you have not yet had, lives you have not yet touched, and blessings you have not yet received. Do not allow temporary discouragement to rob you of eternal purpose. The story I am writing through your life is still moving forward, and every chapter has meaning. Even when you cannot see immediate results, I am using your faithfulness to prepare something greater than you imagine. Keep your heart soft. Keep your spirit teachable. Continue seeking my voice before making decisions. Continue choosing kindness even when others do not. Continue forgiving when it would be easier to hold on to hurt. Continue praying when answers seem delayed. Continue believing my promises when circumstances try to tell a different story. These choices may appear ordinary, but together they become the path that leads you into the fullness of my purpose. When you stumble, do not remain on the ground. Reach for my hand, and I will lift you. When you grow weary, lean upon my strength, and I will sustain you. When uncertainty clouds your vision, remember that I see clearly what you cannot. I have never expected perfection from you. I have only asked you to keep walking with me. Every step taken in faith pleases my heart because it declares that you trust me more than your fears. So continue walking forward, my beloved child. Do not be distracted by what lies behind you or intimidated by what lies ahead. Walk with confidence because I am beside you. Walk with hope because my promises remain true. Walk with peace because my presence surrounds you. Every step is bringing you closer to the beautiful future I have prepared. The journey is not ending here. It is leading you toward greater joy, deeper purpose, and a fuller understanding of my unfailing love. Keep walking, for I will be with you every step of the way until every promise I have spoken over your life is fulfilled. My beloved child, if you could see your life from my perspective, you would not fear the pages that have not yet been written. You would not wonder whether your greatest moments are already behind you. You would not believe the lie that your opportunities have passed or that your purpose has somehow grown smaller with time. You would see what I see. You would recognize that the story I am writing through your life is still unfolding, and some of its most beautiful chapters have not yet begun. That is why I want your heart to receive this truth today. The best chapters are still ahead. I know there are seasons you treasure deeply. You remember moments filled with laughter, unexpected blessings, meaningful relationships, and dreams that came to life. It is natural to look back with gratitude. But do not allow gratitude for yesterday to become a reason to stop expecting my goodness tomorrow. I am not only the God who was faithful in your past, I am also the God who is already preparing your future. My love does not grow weaker with time. My creativity does not diminish. My ability to surprise you with goodness has never reached its limit. There have also been seasons you wish you could forget. You remember heartbreaks, disappointments, and prayers that seem to remain unanswered. At times, those painful memories have whispered that you should lower your expectations to protect yourself from future sorrow. But my beloved child, I did not redeem your past so that you would fear your future. I healed your wounds so that you could walk forward with confidence, not hesitation. Every lesson you have learned has been preparing you for blessings that require a wiser, stronger, and more compassionate heart. Think about the sunrise after a long night. The darkness may seem endless while you are waiting, but it has never been permanent. Long before the first rays of light become visible, dawn has already begun its quiet work beyond the horizon. The world changes gradually until suddenly everything is illuminated. In the same way, many of the blessings I have prepared for you are already drawing near. You may not fully see them yet, but they are moving toward you according to my perfect timing. Do not mistake the final moments of darkness for the absence of dawn. My beloved child, I want you to release the belief that your age, your past, or your circumstances determine what I can accomplish through your life. I have never measured purpose by human standards. I do not ask whether you believe it is too late. I ask whether you are willing to continue trusting me. As long as you are walking with me, your life remains filled with possibility. Every new day carries opportunities to grow, to love, to serve, to heal, and to become more fully the person I created you to be. There are dreams within your heart that have quietly been waiting for the right season. Some of them have rested beneath the surface while I strengthen your character. Others have remained hidden while I aligned circumstances you could not yet see. Do not assume that because they have waited, they have disappeared. Seeds often remain unseen for a season before they break through the soil with new life. In the same way, the hopes I have planted within you are not forgotten. They are being prepared for the moment when they can flourish most beautifully. I also want you to understand that the best chapters of your life are not defined only by what you receive. They are also defined by who you become. The peace you now carry has greater value than possessions. The wisdom you have gained through waiting is more precious than immediate success. The compassion born from your own pain will touch lives in ways you cannot yet imagine. These inner treasures will accompany every blessing I place before you, allowing you to enjoy them with gratitude instead of fear. There will come a day when you look back over the season and smile. You will remember how uncertain the future once seemed. You will remember the nights when you wondered whether anything was changing. Then you will see how faithfully I was guiding every step, even when you could not recognize my hand. You will realize that what felt like delay was preparation, what felt like loss became redirection, and what felt like silence was filled with my unseen work. Your heart will overflow with gratitude because you will understand that I was writing a story more beautiful than the one you imagined for yourself. Do not become impatient while waiting for these chapters to unfold. A beautiful story is not rushed. Every page has purpose. Every season carries meaning. Even the quiet moments between great victories are filled with opportunities to know me more deeply. Treasure this season as much as the next one because I am present in both. My greatest gift has never been merely the blessings I provide. My greatest gift has always been my presence walking faithfully beside you through every chapter. So lift your eyes with renewed expectation. Refuse to believe that life has already offered its finest moments. Refuse to let disappointment become the lens through which you view tomorrow. Open your heart to hope once again. Continue praying boldly. Continue dreaming faithfully. Continue serving joyfully. Continue trusting completely. The pages ahead are filled with my promises, my peace, and my purpose. My beloved child, the best chapters are still ahead because I am still writing your story. My pen has not stopped moving. My plans have not reached their conclusion. My love has not finished revealing its beauty in your life. Walk into tomorrow with confidence, knowing that every step brings you closer to the fulfillment of what I have prepared. The road before you is brighter than the road behind you because I am leading you into a future filled with hope, restoration, and joy. Stay close to me, and together we will turn the pages of a story whose most beautiful moments are still waiting to be revealed. My beloved child, as you have walked with me through every season, I have gently revealed one truth after another. I have shown you that my silence never meant my absence, that every delay carried purpose, that every battle strengthened your spirit, and that every tear was held within my loving hands. Now, as you stand on the edge of another new beginning, I want to bring all of these truths together into one simple invitation. Trust what I am doing right now. Not only what I have done in the past, and not only what I will do in the future, but what I am accomplishing in this very moment, even if your eyes cannot yet see it. Your heart naturally wants to understand everything before it fully rests. You want to know how every unanswered prayer will be answered. You want to see how every broken place will be restored. You want to understand how every promise will unfold. But my beloved child, if I revealed every detail at once, you might become more fascinated with the destination than with the relationship we have built along the journey. My greatest desire has never been simply to bring you to a place of blessing. It has always been to draw you closer to my heart. Right now, while you are listening to my voice, I am working in ways beyond your understanding. There are prayers I am answering that you have already forgotten you prayed. There are doors quietly opening while you are still looking at yesterday's closed ones. There are conversations taking place that will shape opportunities you cannot yet imagine. There are hearts I am preparing to encourage you, and there are people I am preparing for you to encourage. Nothing in your life is standing still, even when it feels quiet. My hands are never idle. Think about the changing of the seasons. Winter does not suddenly become spring in a single moment. Day by day, almost unnoticed, the earth begins to change. The frozen ground softens. Tiny buds appear on branches that once seemed lifeless. Birds return before the landscape is fully green. Little by little, life announces itself until one day the beauty that was quietly forming becomes impossible to ignore. My beloved child, this is how I often work in your life. Transformation begins long before it becomes visible. The miracle is already unfolding while your eyes are still learning to recognize it. Do not allow impatience to steal the joy of this season. Impatience whispers that nothing valuable is happening unless immediate results appear. But faith understands that my work is often deepest when it is least visible. The roots of your future are growing beneath the surface. Your character is being strengthened. Your heart is becoming more compassionate. Your wisdom is increasing. Your trust is deepening. These are not small things. They are the very foundation upon which lasting blessings will stand. There may still be moments when doubt quietly returns and asks whether anything is truly changing. When that happens, remember all that I have already brought you through. Remember the valleys that did not last forever. Remember the fears that no longer control you. Remember the prayers I answered in ways you never expected. Remember the peace that found you even before your circumstances changed. Let those memories become evidence of my faithfulness. The God who has never failed you in the past is not beginning to fail you today. My beloved child, I also ask you not to judge my work by human timing. A sculptor does not rush the masterpiece because observers grow impatient. Every careful movement has purpose. Every detail matters. In the same way, I am shaping your life with perfect wisdom. There are pieces I am still refining because I love you too much to leave them unfinished. There are blessings I am still preparing because I want you to receive them at the perfect moment. Trust my timing more than your own expectations, for my perspective reaches far beyond what your eyes can presently see. Continue living faithfully in the present moment. Love the people I have placed before you today. Serve with joy in the opportunities already in your hands. Pray with expectation instead of anxiety. Rest in my promises instead of striving to control every outcome. The future is built through faithful obedience in the present. Every small act of trust becomes another step toward the beautiful purpose I have prepared for you. Do not become distracted by voices that urge you to hurry or compare your journey with someone else's. I have written a unique story for your life. Your pace has been chosen with wisdom. Your lessons have been shaped with love. Your calling has been designed specifically for you. Comparison only clouds your vision. Gratitude clears it. When you begin noticing my goodness in today's blessings, your heart becomes more prepared to recognize tomorrow's miracles. As you prepare to enter the final chapter of this message, I want these words to remain deeply rooted within your spirit. You have never been forgotten. You have never been abandoned. You have never walked alone. Every chapter we have shared together has been leading to this growing confidence that my love is constant, my promises are true, and my purpose for your life cannot be defeated. Even when you could not see me, I was already working. Even when you felt weak, I was already strengthening you. Even when you believed nothing was changing, I was already unfolding something beautiful. So trust what I am doing right now, my beloved child. Trust the unseen work. Trust the quiet season. Trust the gentle transformation taking place within your heart. Trust the doors I am opening and the ones I have lovingly closed. Trust the path beneath your feet, even when the destination remains hidden. Above all, trust me. I hold your past with mercy, your present with grace, and your future with perfect love. Soon you will look back and see that this very moment, the one that once seemed ordinary, was actually one of the most sacred turning points in your journey. I have been unfolding something beautiful all along, and the fullness of my faithfulness is closer than you have ever imagined. My beloved child, you have walked with me through every chapter of this journey, and now we arrive at this moment together. From the very beginning, I told you that something important was unfolding in your life. Along the way, I reminded you that my silence never meant I had abandoned you. I showed you that every delay carried purpose, every battle strengthened your spirit, every closed door protected your future, and every tear was precious in my sight. I have spoken to your fears with peace, to your doubts with truth, and to your weary heart with love. Now I want you to leave this message carrying one unshakable certainty. I have always been with you, and I will always remain with you. When you return to the ordinary moments of your daily life, do not think that my work has ended simply because these words have come to a close. My work within you continues. Every sunrise will remind you that my mercy is new. Every breath you take will remind you that my grace is sustaining you. Every challenge you face will become another opportunity to discover that my strength is greater than your weakness. Every blessing you receive will become another reminder that my timing has always been perfect. Do not be discouraged if there are still days when questions remain unanswered. Faith does not require you to understand everything before taking the next step. Faith invites you to trust the one who already knows the end from the beginning. I have never asked you to carry tomorrow's burdens today. I have only asked you to hold my hand and walk with me. As you continue doing that, I will reveal each new step exactly when you need it. Remember who you have become during this journey. You are no longer the person who believed every delay meant rejection. You are no longer the person who allowed fear to decide every step. You are no longer defined by your wounds, your failures, or your disappointments. You are becoming someone whose heart is rooted in my peace, whose spirit is strengthened by my presence, and whose hope is anchored in my promises. Continue growing into the person I created you to be, for I am not finished shaping the beautiful masterpiece of your life. There will be people who cross your path carrying the same burdens you once carried. Some will be searching for hope after heartbreak. Some will be wading through seasons that seem endless. Some will quietly wonder whether I still see them. When the day comes, let your life speak before your words do. Let your peace remind them that I still restore. Let your compassion reveal that I still heal. Let your faith encourage them to keep believing. The comfort you have received from me was never meant to end with you. It was always meant to flow through you into the lives of others. Do not fear the future, my beloved child. I am already there. Do not cling to the past, for I have redeemed it. Do not become overwhelmed by the present, because my grace is sufficient for this very day. Lift your eyes with confidence. Walk with courage. Love with generosity. Forgive with freedom. Pray with expectation. Serve with humility. Rest with peace. Everything I have spoken over your life remains true because my word does not fail. As you continue living the story I am writing, remember that every ordinary day can become a holy moment when it is lived with me. Every quiet prayer matters. Every act of kindness carries eternal value. Every step of obedience opens the way for greater purpose. I delight in walking beside you through every season, celebrating your victories, strengthening you through your struggles, and reminding you again and again that you are deeply loved. And now, my beloved child, if these words have strengthened your heart and awakened your faith, I invite you to become part of the work I am continuing through this message. Every seed you sow becomes another opportunity for my light to reach someone who is praying for hope in the darkness. My living promise declares that whoever refreshes others will themselves be refreshed, and I delight in fulfilling that promise in the lives of those who give with willing hearts. If your spirit hath been asking, Lord, how can my gratitude become a blessing for someone else? Let this be your answer today. Through your YouTube Super Thanks or by becoming a channel member, you help carry these messages of healing, peace, and restoration to countless hearts around the world. You may also support this mission through the PayPal donation link provided in the video description, and it is available through the QR code shown with this video. Let your gift become a lamp that shines into places where weary souls are still searching for my voice. I speak my blessing over every generous heart, filling it with peace, provision, renewed strength, and overflowing joy as it partners in spreading my word. Do not delay the prompting I have placed within your spirit. Rise in faith, sow with joy, strengthen this mission, and become part of the harvest of lives I am drawing to myself. Now I place my blessing upon you. May your heart remain steadfast when life is uncertain. May your mind be filled with my peace when anxious thoughts arise. May your home be surrounded by my presence. May your hands be strengthened for every good work I have prepared. May your eyes recognize my faithfulness in every season. May your soul never forget that you are deeply known, completely loved, and forever held in my hands. Walk forward without fear, because I am with you. Rest without worry, because I am watching over you. Hope without hesitation, because my promises will never fail. My beloved child, something important has indeed been unfolding in your life. It has been my love healing you, my wisdom guiding you, my peace guarding you, my grace sustaining you, and my purpose preparing you for the beautiful future that lies ahead. Continue walking with me, and you will discover that the greatest chapters of your story are not simply about the blessings you receive, but about the relationship we will share forever. Amen.